Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 241. We're missing Sean, RGT. He didn't have anything to do, but he's not here.
Suspiciously missing today. Suspiciously missing today. I mean, look, I'm not trying to say anything, but just, it just seems a bit...
Reasons.
Yeah. Metroid reasons.
Yeah, he's unwrapping his copy of Balan and crying.
Yeah.
Suspiciously missing today. I just found that interesting, that's all.
So we brought on Randall Thor 19 because we got some Xbox stuff to talk about as well. Rand, how we doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on once again. It's always awesome to be on the Spawncast with everybody.
Good to have you on. We do have Rand's link down below in the description, as well as everyone else here on the panel. Let me go over here to MVG. How we doing? You got the Xbox 360 shirt on, celebrating the 20 years of the Xbox now, right?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm doing a Monday video on Xbox 20, so
cool.
I was just shooting some B-roll today and wearing the colors. So yeah, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me on.
So we have Miss Click. Click, how we doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Good. Then we have Nate. How you doing, Nate?
I'm enjoying some hot cider and pumpkin seeds, so that's a fine fall evening.
Just getting ready for Monday.
Yes, Monday's my birthday,
Monday.
so I'm looking forward to it.
The following
next
Monday.
Good.
The Monday after that.
Yeah, that's a good Monday.
Whatever Monday is, like right before December 8th.
Monday ahead of Thanksgiving and Black Friday. It's always a fun Monday.
Okay. We'll come back to that. Then we have OJ, Player Essence. How you doing, OJ?
Doing good. Wearing the Black Content Creator of the Year shirt. Nate, shout out to Nate. Yeah. It's your birthday too, so I wanted to celebrate your birthday. What better way to just saying, hey man, I appreciate you.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Jordan Fringe. Jordan, how we doing? Looking very red over there. Wait a minute. It's turning purple. It's turning blue. It's changing color?
Oh, I have one over there that's changing color.
Oh, okay.
That one's not.
Okay.
But glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you here, Jordan. And then we have Max, Dreamcast guy.
Hey, I guess I'm the one person in the world. I see you in chat. I'm the one person in the world who likes the GTA Trilogy collection, even with those terrible character models. It's Vice City with better driving, baby.
Yeah, it was an interesting week. Actually, there's a lot of stuff that was going on this week. We had the GTA Trilogy disaster. That took place. They couldn't even sell it on the PC anymore. So
people keep sending me just pictures of the character models, no text. People just keep sending me pictures of bad character models. Like, I didn't make it.
We'll go over the GTA Trilogy stuff. We did have Forza Horizon 5. I had a chance to play actually a good bit of that, so we'll talk a bit about that one. And then we had some MPD numbers. Specifically, though, Metroid Dread had some actual numbers from Nintendo put out, and Sean's not here. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. So
Weird.
why don't we start with a Discord question from Evan over there.
We have someone asking, should I wait for Tales of Arise on Switch or wait to play it on Steam Deck? He's looking mostly just to play it portable.
I don't know when it's coming to the Switch. I'm being honest.
We have no idea. I can give you a little bit of insight. I still think it's going to come. Bandai Namco's games are usually, it takes them about a year or and a half, or maybe even longer, up to 2 years for ports. All of their older ports have came over. So like, Dragon Ball, that, Ni no Kuni, but they're sometimes years delayed. So, or we don't even know if this one's going to come at all. I mean, it could just not come at all. Jump Force was over a year, then it got shut down. I mean, so like, if you want to play it, just play it now, because there's no guarantee it should come, but there's no guarantee it will or when, so just play it on Steam Deck, because the game is amazing. The game is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it's visually very pleasing, so if you can play it on more powerful hardware to really get to appreciate the visuals, use the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
I do want to go back. Click reminded me that we had a few super chats from last week, because as we were going off air, we had a couple come in. Shinru asked if we were playing that Bloodborne demake soon, which actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
they're going to release that. I think right at the beginning of the year.
It's like January 12th or something. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's going to be dropped. We'll check it out. That should be fun.
Also, did you see the Resident Evil 4 demake? It plays like a original Resident Evil game, like a PS1 era one.
No, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
It looks awesome.
Well, it's made by different hackers, but yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Then we have Drew, said first time watching the cast live. Want to say thanks for always helping pass time at work on Mondays. Glad OJ's back. Most anticipated upcoming game.
Elden Ring.
Halo Infinite.
Halo Infinite, indeed.
Halo. Yeah, Elden Ring does look really good though from this preview. So I'm I'm excited for
Zelda
that one
Breath,
too, but
Breath of the Wild 2 for me, man. I cannot wait to just get into that game.
That's a game. I've like pushed that to the back of my mind. I don't think about that anymore.
What, Zelda?
Do you know something, Click?
No. That's something genuinely I don't want to know anything about. There are some other things I do know about that I'm very excited about, but obviously can't say them. So
okay. Okay, let's should we start with Nate actually here first? Nate, what happened?
Are we talking about pumpkin seeds again?
No, the Halo Infinite
Don't do
stuff.
Ah, yes, Halo Infinite. Yeah, the original plan from Microsoft was that they wanted to celebrate the anniversary of Xbox and Halo Combat Evolved by launching the Halo Infinite multiplayer early. And the original plan was Monday that they were going to introduce and make available to Halo Infinite multiplayer. Unfortunately, I had information today that says it's faced an 11th hour delay. It's still coming in November. It's just going to be a little later than the 15th. It doesn't mean that on Monday they may not relay some sort of news. Maybe they open up the preload so we can download the actual multiplayer file, which could be substantial in size. And they date it just for a little later in the month, but it's still coming for December 8th. We will be playing Halo Infinite's multiplayer this month.
Okay. Well, that's good. You can get
That's
in
all.
early. Okay.
Okay, Nate. Are we going to be playing Halo multiplayer on Thanksgiving? Because that's all I care about. I want to.
Oh, that's a good question.
I want to
and then
avoid
playing
the
Halo.
family and just
Is
play
that happening?
Halo.
Well, I mean, that'd be the 25th.
Yeah. Are we
I
getting
mean,
it?
it'd have to be, right? Because otherwise it's like that Tuesday then following up is November 30th.
I mean, if they are able to address the issues, I'd say there's a reasonable chance that it launches the week of Black Friday.
Okay.
I'm not going to confirm that because, I mean, this is a huge multiplayer launch. All they have to do is have a back-end issue, and they say, oh, we have to delay it again. But it should still be the month of November. Whether or not you're sitting at your Thanksgiving table with the drumstick in your hand, your Xbox controller in your other hand, and playing the Xbox through a mirror reflection, that's up for 343 and Microsoft to make a reality. That I do not have that type of power.
Okay.
I don't know about you guys, but I sort of feel if they missed the 20th anniversary for this, then like might as well wait to the 8th
Yeah.
and just launch everything at once. Like I understand like
yeah.
20th anniversary, it's Xbox. Like how huge would it have been if they actually launched the multiplayer on that day? But if you're not going to hit that day, then just wait to the 8th.
Well, they have. I mean, they had that early access pack that leaked out, so they seem to have been planning out early access at some point, like I guess they did with Forza. So they sell you some DLC or something to get you in early.
Hey, let me ask you, why did you decide to leak it in the first place?
The reason I ran with it is that you had so many of these social media accounts already implying and teasing it without just saying it. They kept going around it. It was kind of one of those situations of, this is probably going to leak this weekend anyways. So is it a case of, you know what? If you know what's going to happen, do you want to just take the bull by the horn and take charge and do it yourself? Or do you sit back and wait? And I said, you know what? Let's get it out there. Let's build a little more anticipation for the event itself. And with that news happening, get people excited for that release, especially for the 20th anniversary. Unfortunately, you never know when an 11th hour change is going to take place. And that's what happened here. It's a gamble you take. You roll the dice and you see what comes up.
I want to work this in because it's like a membership thing, and for some reason they don't pop up in the same tab as like the super chats. But it's actually from Dark Type, who said, "Hey, so great news! The date was a success." They didn't say who they listened to. They just said it was a success. And Eternals is a solid movie. Also started playing Skyward Sword HD for the first time, and I love it. So we're gonna leave that one as a mystery, Dark Type, as to who you listen to.
50-50.
But yeah, that's good to hear. That's really cool. That worked out.
But also glad you're enjoying Skyward.
Nate, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
You said an 11th hour change, right?
Yes.
On a Saturday? Is that?
Yeah.
Is Xbox Live all over again? They had to call them up and say, "Why'd you try to
this could
double
have
the
been
price?" of Xbox
something
Live?
that in the background was made even like late last night, which is would have been hours after I put the tweet out. But you can look at what's happened externally just today. Yesterday, you had the Microsoft Store data, which had 11/15 in the pre-order release date. That has since been scrubbed today to go back to December 8th. Pringles, which has a marketing deal with Halo Infinite's multiplayer with a 2XP marketing campaign, they had a countdown running as of today that concluded on the 15th. That has since been removed from the site. So you already have brands altering information with internal code to remove 11.15 from countdowns and intended release windows. So that suggests something has changed that is altering the release date. You would not know this right now on the weekend if it was still on track.
That is fair to say, especially considering I have a Xbox Series X box that has Master Chief on it, from a year ago. So, I mean, it does track.
Yep,
I trust Pringles with all my gaming leaks.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I don't like Pringles anyway, so I mean, it's okay if that's like, or maybe they're making a new flavor and they need to just get the new flavor ready for the launch. Maybe that's what's going on.
I'm just excited for a little anniversary thing on Monday. I assume backwards compatible stuff. Hey, if they have Halo, that's cool too.
No, Pringles are okay. Stacks are better, but Pringles are okay.
As MVG would say. As MVG would say, is this a controlled leak, Nate?
It could be.
It's controlled. You on the payroll, Nate?
Could be. I generated some hype for the 20th anniversary. But doesn't anyone else find it curious that 343 and Microsoft has not shut down any of the discussion of Halo Infinite being at the show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They are always aggressive to come out and say this is not happening. Why are they silent? And it's not because it's the weekend. They were tweeting last night when Tom Warren was very subtly hinting at it and kind of playing with it. They were in his mentions. Why did no one come out and say, do not have this as an expectation?
I was waiting, once you tweeted it, I was waiting for someone from Xbox to just kind of shut it down, and it never came. So I was like, oh, maybe this is a thing.
What if they used the prepare for disappointment meme? That would have been good.
Go ahead, Randy.
Xbox puts a prepare for disappointment.
Maybe they couldn't say anything because they accidentally deleted the official Xbox Twitter account last night.
Oh, yeah.
That was very funny.
They immediately were like, he's got us. We got to get out of here. And deleted the whole
Maybe
thing.
that was the 11th hour problem, is they deleted the freaking Twitter account.
That could have, I mean, that's a possibility. Your whole Twitter account's gone. I mean, a lot of social media marketing is through Twitter these days. So
I think if you look at all the external factors, when you have Pringles, you have the Microsoft stored data information, there's enough there that was pointing to 11.15 and that was an intended release date, and it has changed. It happens in the industry. This fact that people are so reluctant to the idea that things can change it's pretty disturbing.
I will back you up on this. I was hearing from multiple people for over a month now that
Thank you.
the plan was the multiplayer release on the 15th.
Thank you. So the people who are saying I'm a liar and I fabricated this can go sit in a corner and suck on their thumbs like the infants that they are.
But as I said, because we sourced you on my podcast last night.
Well, what the hell are you doing that for?
Because I'm not going to anger Xbox PR, and Jez is already in enough hot water with Xbox PR for leaking Project Midnight.
Ooh.
Well, if he's already in Microsoft prison.
I'm just saying, like, I think
put him on I could put him in death row.
I think that was the plan, but like you said, something changed.
Hey, just don't open an Xbox. You'll be okay then.
I wonder if they'll announce it tomorrow and then say, hey, beginning on the 18th or something.
Yeah. They could.
You'll be able to play it.
Preload's live now. Get ready for early access, because we know that.
Well,
that event
is going to come, and they're going to say the preload is now active. Here's the release date is coming in X amount of days. And
the data mining shows
what I put out as the tweet is that the plan was the 15th, and it has since changed slightly. And Rand has backed that up just now. And you still have people in the chat saying I'm a liar. Clearly, you people don't understand what the word lie means because you are illiterate.
The event starts on the 23rd, right? From the data mining that they have. There's a Halo Infinite event.
Yeah,
so I assume
is November 23rd.
I assume it would launch before then if they were going to do it. I don't know why they would have an entire event unless they were just having reviewers do it or something.
So I will be playing Halo Infinite and eating turkey on Thanksgiving.
If that date is legitimate and the Fracture event does begin on the 23rd, what a perfect way to launch the game would be that week, right?
Yeah. What if they announce it Monday and it's out Friday or something?
Well, then apparently the information that I put out, which would then be deemed 100% accurate, would still make me a liar. Because as we said in my show yesterday, John, no matter what, I'm Scottie Pippen. I put up the game-winning shot, we lose the game. I put up the assist, and you put up the game-winning shot, I still lost somehow. No matter what happens in this scenario, I lose.
Look out, John. I'm telling you, that book's coming in 20 years. He's going to tear you apart, dude.
Like I said, we can't all be Jordan, Nate. It's all right.
But this is a joke.
That's at the every
Rand just
post game
came
lobby in
in.
Halo.
Rand just came in as my Scottie Pippen and backed up the information. And
Yeah,
somehow
I don't-
that's gonna be
Scotty
the thing
gets
that's
no
gonna
love,
be
man.
ignored.
Scotty getting no love. Why are you getting roasted on a gaming podcast, bro? Come
I mean,
on.
I don't know anything for sure, but I had heard it from multiple people that was the case. It was happening.
And are
But
these people that you
I'm not going to be the one on Twitter being like, "Hello, Spartans! To celebrate the 20th anniversary, the multiplayer is launching, only to have to retract it a day later." Oh, come on, guys.
Hello, Spartans.
What was that?
Transparency.
Valvinus? Was it?
transparency? Plans
What?
changed. I let it be known.
Okay, let's. Do you want to start with GTA Trilogy? Because this was this is incredible stuff. Like, it started bad, and it's just gotten worse, and now it's just it's just ugly now. Like, we had been talking about this all week, and then somehow this morning, people started realizing that even the hot coffee stuff was still in the game.
Yeah, so I haven't been following the news that broke today, but they discovered that all the removed songs were technically still in the game, which is like maybe a legal issue. And now the hot coffee, so they had to remove it because they would get sued or something. You know,
They have the developers arguing basically back and forth in like the programming notes that people are finding, where it's clear people are like super aggressive programming the game with each other. And
I did, yeah. Y'all sent that to me where someone was like, "These water effects suck. Turn them off," or something like that.
like, this doesn't work, so we're just going to do a different way, basically. But this is in a really much more aggressive way in the programming, right below like all the stuff they had set up there. But the game came out. Okay, it kind of came out. It's on all the platforms. It released. By the way, no gameplay before. Review codes went out the day of, right? Like, on release, people got them. They seem to have the PlayStation Store version go live early,
Which
like
is how I
midnight.
had it. I had it by
Yeah.
accident. I bought it on PS5 just because that's normally where I game, and that unlocked at midnight. Every other version unlocked at 11 a.m. So I had
Yeah.
it 12 hours before everybody else. Whoops.
Yeah, so like, I saw people streaming, and I was like, "How's that happening? I can't get it on the Switch right now." It says it's just not gonna happen. And then on Xbox, the San Andreas Game Pass wasn't live yet either. But everything went live, and it got ugly pretty fast. I saw MVG, you did your video this morning about it. Really went in depth on it. I played it on the Switch because I was like, my plan was, I'm gonna buy it digitally on the Switch, because no point in getting it physically on the Switch because it's coming with a digital code. So I'm like, all right, I'll get that. I'll get it physically on the PlayStation. Then I'll just download San Andreas on the Xbox because I on Game Pass. So I start up GTA 3 on the Switch, and it is a nightmare. It is like, I cannot recommend. I had to turn it off. Like, the frame rate is so bad when you're driving around that it's actually hard to drive. Like, it's that point. Like, it goes up to 30 frames per second, shoots down to 10, goes up to 15, shoots back down to 10. And it's like, and it stutters and stop, and then it goes, and it's like, I just couldn't play the game. It was bad. So I can't recommend that at all. GTA 3, at least. I think Vice City was a little better. San Andreas was smoother. But, I mean, the issues go beyond just, like, the frame rate, because that's a problem. If it rains, I mean, like, Breath of the Wild's a whole thing when it rains. Like, you barely climb a mountain, right? This game, you can't do anything. Can't see it. It's terrible.
Upward in San Andreas.
So I was confused about that. I was looking, I was like, are those raindrops actually going down? I'm a little confused. It was like doing this weird effect where I was like, I think those are coming from the ground.
Well, also, I think somebody did an analysis where it's like a grid that's on the screen, so it plays like an effect where there's rain. But if you turn the car, the rain does not move.
MVG was standing under a bridge in his video, and the rain was still coming down through the
I was underneath the boardwalk on one of the beaches, and you could the rain just kind of clips through the boardwalk thing. It's
magic
just
rain.
ridiculous.
Real quick before we shred this, can I just say, has anybody played it on PS5 or Xbox? And I want to say the game.
Xbox.
Okay, because I'm sure everyone's going to disagree with me on everything else. Can we agree that the gameplay changes are good? The new aiming is way better, and the driving is way better? Because I know a lot of people in chat are like mad that I gave the game a 9. It plays better. It looks like trash. I'll definitely agree the game looks like trash, but it plays better.
I don't even think it looks like trash. I mean, I think the enhancements they've done to the game are pretty good for the most part. The problem is, it's just something that you can tell they've just rushed, and whether that is, pressure from the publisher to get the game out before the end of the year, I don't know. But some of the enhancements in the game actually look really, really good. Like when I started playing San Andreas, I played it on Game Pass. I thought, you know what, this doesn't look that bad. Some of the graphical updates look really good, but it's all the stuff that is not really essential to the game, like the pedestrians, the models of the pedestrians and some of the NPCs in the game.
I think the cars are fantastic.
Yeah. And then there's just the underlying issues around things like there's no fog in the game, or there's no, the rain that we talked about as well. And just the frame pacing issues and the frame rate, on the Series X, it hits 60, but John, you mentioned, on the Switch, it kind of hits 30 and then it drops as low as, in the 10s or something.
Oh, it's bad. Yeah.
It's the same problem on the Series X and the PS5.
I noticed this with San Andreas, at least when I was running around. If I turned around the corner when I'm driving, I noticed like the stutter, like when I'm turning. I'm like, that's weird. I don't know if it's because it's drawing stuff in or what, but it was very strange when that would happen. It threw me off a little bit.
Yeah, and so those frame rate issues are present in the Series X and the PS5. It's just because it's more powerful, you don't really notice it as much. But it's just overall, it's not a very good port at all. And I think what makes it even worse is just everything that's been going on outside of the game with Rockstar and the way that they've treated modders. They've basically DMCA takedown all the mods. They've removed the previous versions of the games from every digital storefront, and seemingly to kind of make room for this version, which is really, really not very good. Like there are modded versions of GTA out there that are much better than this. They have bug fixes. They have better character models. They have better animation. They have better updates. And it's just something that ultimately is just very disappointing to see Rockstar, handle the game in the way they have. So I think, the game itself and everything that's been going on around it is just making it just a lot of people very upset at this time.
Yeah, that's the thing that's a shame is Rockstar doesn't release a lot of games anymore. So like we get this game and sure, it's like just a remaster or remake of like the original like trilogy there that we had on like the PS2, and it's just bad. So it's like, great. I guess we'll see what they have for us in 8 years after this. This is a game obviously they should have delayed. I don't know if they just felt like we got to get this out for the holidays or what. I can't believe nobody looked at that and said we probably shouldn't put this out. Like, is Rockstar really a developer and Take-Two a company that needs to like force this game out there? That's the thing that's weird to me, because we talk about how much money they're making with GTA Online.
See, that's the weird thing, is that the original reporting placed this game as a pre-order bonus for those who got GTA 5 on next generation consoles. That was then delayed, and they decided to do these standalone release versions. So it doesn't seem as though it had to come out at this time. They just wanted to have it out in time for the holiday. And the flaw with the game isn't so much the content, because the content of the 3 games is still great. These are the same 3 great games that we played 20 years ago. It is the quality of the release that is the problem. That's where these games fail in so many spectacular fashions, be it the frame rate, frame pacing, visual glitches, what have you. And they could have delayed this 6 months. They didn't need it out now. And if it is a case that they rushed it just to get it out the door, this is very disappointing. And people are going to say, well, they can always patch it. That's not an excuse.
No.
We can't just sit there and say, you could patch everything to make it better. We've been waiting a year for Cyberpunk to be patched.
True.
At what point is that no longer a viable?
This is a good question, by the way, because there is apparently a slew of people asking for refunds around this game now. And I was going to pose this question: which release is worse now? Was it Cyberpunk or is it GTA Trilogy?
We need to be clear though, because the reason why people are asking for refunds, at least on the PC version, is because it's currently not available.
Even better. So GTA Trilogy got pulled down. Cyberpunk got pulled down.
Right. So GTA Trilogy got pulled down on the PC. There's no specific reason given, but we suspect it's because there was unlicensed music left in the game, which is a big no-no, right? You can't do that. And then there's also rumors about the hot coffee mod still in the game files as well. So I think between the two of those things, Rockstar have decided that they would pull the release until further notice. So that's left a lot of people upset on the PC that want to play the game and they can't because they don't even know when they're going to be able to play the game again. Rockstar hasn't given them any indication of when the game's coming back online, and it's just another one of those things that's been added on to the list of shit that's gone wrong with this game. It's just an absolute mess.
Can I say real quick?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Max.
I was going to say real quick. Sorry, Click. I was going to say real quick. A lot of people are saying this needs to be taken off the PlayStation and Xbox store. I don't think it is. Like the thing with Cyberpunk was that the game was just so broken, and so many millions of people bought it and were mad. I just feel like this isn't going to get pulled because the scale is so much smaller.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's hard to compare it to Cyberpunk, right? Like Cyberpunk is this game that was teased and marketed for like a decade, kind of thing. Like they disappeared from Twitter. They made a tweet. It like broke
Click's
Twitter.
right.
Like
Let's go to the reviews.
the demos. Oh yeah, go to the reviews.
Let me pull up Cyberpunk reviews on PC, and then we'll just to be fair, we'll pull up GTA Trilogy reviews on the PC.
People chairs.
Pull up Max's. It'll be
like,
fine.
Or do they have reviews up for Grand Theft Auto? I just want to see Trilogy.
Review code only went out Friday morning, so I highly doubt any outlets actually reviewed it yet.
Yeah, no one reviewed it yet. But user score on Cyberpunk 7.1. User score on GTA Trilogy 5.8. Just saying.
I think the main difference between Cyberpunk and this is that CD Projekt Red lied. Like legitimately lied multiple times. They said that the game is. Oh, I can't believe how great the game's running on PlayStation 4. No, it was never running that great. You already knew it wasn't.
Well,
So I think that's like the biggest issue. Rockstar never claimed anything. They
Rockstar just denied us access to actually seeing the games really release.
They didn't show you anything. I mean, I guess whatever
we had a
people
trailer
say.
that looked, 5 seconds of footage.
It was a very short trailer, and they copyright claimed it. So it's not like you could even show it to people if you had a channel, because they would just copyright claim you. So they did their best to try to make sure that people didn't talk or didn't show it more or replay it more even then, because they would just copyright claim you. And you guys know nobody wants to just create copyright claim everything. So
Yeah, but they destroyed our childhood.
Yeah, they unmade it. They actually walked in my house and they smashed my
were-
PlayStation 2 discs.
you guys were children when the game came out? I mean,
What, when
I was in high school.
I wasn't.
I was not a child when the
I
game
was definitely not a child.
They destroyed our teenage years. They destroyed our teenage years with this. Okay, they and they removed the originals, so we can't even go back to them.
I'm glad I bought them. I have them, and no one else does.
I got the triple pack on Xbox physical, so I'm good.
Okay.
Maybe they just hired the wrong people to do it. Maybe they should have hired the guys who did that Quake remaster. I heard they're pretty good, right?
Right.
We're available.
At one point, one of the leaks was that this was always intended to first be a cell phone game, and then later on they started trying to shift it to be consoles. Do you think that's why? Because it looks like the faces specifically are what people are the most mad about. Everybody looks overly smooth and bug-eye. It kind of looks like a mobile game.
I'm going to go ahead and read this headline that I found here. GTA Trilogy could be this year's Cyberpunk 2077. As Rockstar is flooded with refund requests. Just put it out there. It's not just me. I don't know. Look, some people voted for GTA Trilogy. Look at that. 78% Cyberpunk, 22% GTA Trilogy.
Cyberpunk's worse because the developers lied.
There were also there were things they showed. There were things they showed in the Cyberpunk thing that still aren't in the game. Like people were showing there was bullet bouncing in the gameplay they showed, and that's just not in the game.
I mean, they showed that very well curated demo at E3, which was a complete load of bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you're right. I mean, they spent years on that game, and they made you believe it was a certain style of game, and then when the game came out, it was absolute garbage. So yeah, I say Cyberpunk.
Yeah, this is just a really bad conversion of the GTA trilogy. People are still having fun with it because the core content is good. Again, it's just the quality of the product itself that is flawed. Where you have, I mean, in Grand Theft Auto 3, like on the Switch, the cars feel as though you're trying to drive a cube. The physics are off. We have the issues with the frame rate where you're getting into the car and all of a sudden it dips halfway down. You play Grand Theft Auto 3 on the Xbox Series X, it tries to hit 60 frames a second, it dips down to 40. That is an unoptimized, rushed project.
Is it $60?
So
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
60, and I think part of the reason, even though I don't see people complaining about it, I do think part of the anger is that these 3 games were individually $10 each when you bought them digitally.
Here's
on
the best part.
PlayStation.
Here's the best part. If you buy it like digitally on the Switch, or I assume on the PlayStation, it shows up as 3 separate icons. on
Yeah,
your-
same on
your
PS5. Yeah,
dashboard. So obviously, and they are of course putting one on Game Pass, that being San Andreas, and then one on PS Now. So they clearly could have separated them and sold them individually for like $20 or something if they wanted to.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
just putting that out there. Just saying.
Hmm.
I don't
Nate,
know.
I
Well,
saw your direct feed games footage and I couldn't believe how bad it looked, man. Like, I thought maybe my YouTube was compressing the video too much, but
oh
I had
yeah,
it-
that's the other thing with the Switch.
I had it
yeah.
on the highest quality and I was watching, I was like, man, this is rough.
It
Yeah.
is. I mean, so much of the atmosphere is lost, especially in Grand Theft Auto 3. It's a weird release, and it's a shame because these are 3 fantastic games, and it's just disappointing that a new audience is going to experience them this way, and because Rockstar took access to prior versions from storefronts. You can't even buy the old games on the PlayStation 4 or on PC anymore, and that's a crime in and of itself.
Oh, see, you know what? No, this has to be worse than Cyberpunk, because now a whole new audience is going to be looking at San Andreas 3 and Vice City like this. This is it. This is what they are now.
I don't think the hype is
This is
quite
it?
the same, John.
This is
Well,
what they are now.
well, yeah, I understand what you're saying,
There's
and
no
I
Keanu Reeves.
I
You know
talked
what?
about this
You got a
in-
point. I'll go ahead. I'll just download the original right now instead of that one on the PlayStation Store. Right? I'll go ahead and grab that.
I see what John's saying, since they did pull all of the good versions of the game, so you have to obviously go through like, eBay or mom and pop shop or whatever to get them. So yeah, it's definitely unfortunate. So yeah, if you're new to the series, if you're new and like this is what you get, yeah, that's not good, man. Like that's not.
I mean,
That's definitely not good.
hopefully they can patch it and clean up some of these problems, but there's just little reason to assume they will.
I mean,
Yeah, and you
what-
guys bring up a good point. At the end of the day, there's no reason why the original games or the old games had to die for this to exist at all. These games could have coexisted. If you still want to play on your cell phone, you should still be able to purchase it and play it.
Well, they didn't want the superior $10 version sitting on digital storefront competing with this $60 piece of crap.
It was definitely that. It was definitely that, because people would be like, "Well, why buy this one when there's this one that you can
When
just
this one
play?"
has better soundtrack, has better performance, why am I going to give you $60 for this worst version of these games? And
Rockstar's filthy rich for a reason, guys.
What were you saying, Click?
True.
No, I was gonna say, at what point though do we like accept games like getting patches to fix the entire thing?
yeah. Well,
never.
We shouldn't.
Like,
So I've been in a bunch of my reviews lately. I have to say this is my review as the game currently stands, because now we're in a weird state where like games will come out broken. I just shredded Battlefield 2042 completely being broken right now,
Yeah.
but it's like that may be great in the future. But like, do we just accept that?
No.
Yeah.
You review the game in the state that it is launched in, and if it launches in a despicable state, that's what the review is going to reflect. If it's patched 2 years down the line to fix all of that, that's a whole different topic. And I don't think a review has to be updated to reflect those changes. If it took you 2 additional years to make the game good, then the game probably should have came out 2 years after the original release date, just like Cyberpunk 2027. If it doesn't become good until summer of 2022, then the version that came out at the end of 2020, it's no longer even the same product at that time. The product that came out
No Man's
at the
Sky.
time is a piece of crap. Now, the new next gen version that comes out 2.5 years later, maybe that one will be good. But
Yeah.
it's
Well,
not
I mean,
acceptable.
it'll
You
probably be on the
can't assume
PS7.
patches will
So
come.
we'll check it out then. Way they port these games up.
Do you think they'll fix the Switch version, Nate?
They're running away from. I think that's it. I think they're out.
I
Can
would
you
say
get a refund on the Switch?
No.
probably
If
not.
you complain to Nintendo, they'd probably give you one, but you'd have to go through customer service.
You have to call them,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, you'd have to call them and ask them for it.
And they do that thing where like, I'll do it this time for you, okay?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
one time, but if you
Yeah.
ask again,
Yeah.
I think we could see a patch come for the Switch version, and it largely, I think it's going to come down to Nintendo. As we know, they're publishing the retail version, so if Nintendo
that's
maybe
right.
sees the status of this game and they say, guys got to fix this. We will fund it for you to fix this product up, because I mean, Nintendo has to be looking and say, this is what we're bringing to market next month.
I like the sound of Nintendo funding the stuff in Grand Theft Auto and developing that in-house. Like looking at the stuff in that game.
I don't think Nintendo will. I don't think Nintendo
probably
will pay for that. Yeah, I don't think
we
they
couldn't
would.
even get the DLC for Wolfenstein 2. So
I'm just laughing. Shigeru Miyamoto being like, the hooker blood on the tires isn't bright enough. Could you just punch that up?
But I mean, it's a sad state of affairs to see Grand Theft Auto Trilogy released in this way. And when you don't see footage and you have no gameplay ahead of release, you should always be hesitant. And this is another reminder of that. When the publisher is controlling the narrative around a release and they're not giving review codes in advance, be hesitant of what the product is going to be.
See, Cyberpunk, I mean, they had footage. It wasn't real footage, but they had footage.
But the footage was, I mean, obviously the footage was, I never bought it.
It wasn't real footage, but it was there.
You could tell it wasn't real. It didn't look real. There were little Cyber Night gameplay nights. That was corny. That was corny.
Oh yeah, Night Live, yeah.
Yeah, their Night Live, that stuff was, and that actually set up more red flags to me. And the Keanu Reeves thing, and that was like, I was like, okay, hold up here. Especially because like you bring him out on stage and you don't show the game. Like, why would you bring him out on stage and then not show the game? And then you have these Cyber Night Live thingies that don't even have gameplay or barely have anything. It just seems like more of like a hype thing for like a movie or something, more so than it actually being.
They roll out in those yellow chairs and they go, hey, be sure to pre-order the yellow chair. All right, let's talk about it.
So, I mean, but yeah, I mean, they're comparable, man. But I mean, I don't know. It sucks that, like John was saying, it sucks that this is what, if you're new, this is what it is, you know.
But do you really think anybody new is actually buying these games? To me, this release just reeks of, hey, you remember when you were a kid and you played Grand Theft Auto for the first time? It's like a nostalgia trip. I don't know, unless I'm wrong, I don't really see a lot of new people who have never played it suddenly playing these games.
I mean, I think there's a percentage of people who are curious as to what was the big deal about Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. And, you know, with Game Pass, there's probably a decent amount of new people who downloaded San Andreas on the Xbox to check it out for the first time. And the Switch audience, there's probably people who are just like, wow, I've always heard about this Grand Theft Auto game. It's never been on a Nintendo console. I'm going to pick up this release just out of curiosity's sake. But it mostly probably is a prey on nostalgia.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly what it is.
Remember,
I mean, there are probably people though. Oh, go
the
ahead.
Mafia remake was awesome.
Definitive edition. Yeah.
I mean,
Mafia 2 sucked.
No, just the Mafia the remake.
Great.
It was okay, but like GTA is not even anywhere near that level, right? I would have expected at least something along the lines of Mafia.
Okay. Oh, I got a question for you guys, to MVG, to everybody here. I got a question. Do you think they should have just individually done these, like a remaster? Then maybe
I think so.
Charge like 30. That's what I was thinking too. I think I said that on my stream. I was like, I think they probably should have just individually done them. Maybe charge 30, 40. If it was really good, I think they can get away with 60 if they were really good remasters.
If they're Mafia, like Mafia, that was a $40 game. Just do something like that. Oh yeah.
If you would have gone all the way back and you would have rebuilt this from the ground up, modern visuals, modern control, it would have been a far better idea for these type of release. Because this just felt.
They should have.
I don't even know what to compare this to.
They were just it felt like they just got stretched too thin with it, and they had to just push it out. They were like, "This is
way
it."
Too many versions of the game coming at once, so inevitably you're going to run into a lot of glitches and bugs that probably went through QA unnoticed. But I mean, some of these. How did it possibly go through QA unnoticed?
I don't know.
Did you see the one glitch people keep sending me on Twitter today is that the cars in San Andreas apparently would like check frame rate to determine the speed. So there's times where your car would just shoot at 1,000 miles an hour because now the max frame rate on PS5 is so high. So your car will just sometimes shoot into the sky and explode in the middle of a mission. I'm like, that's a weird thing that nobody caught.
Now, with the state that this trilogy released in, you also had the rumor out there that Grand Theft Auto 4 was going to face a similar release. What confidence do you have in that now?
I still more. I mean, that was on modern architecture, right? So I feel like the upscaling is not as dramatic. I don't know.
It depends. What if it shifts to Unreal like these did? Unreal is a large factor in why the quality of this release is so poor. It's failing of the optimization of Unreal Engine 4.
The thing is, though, there's already GTA 4 that runs on Xbox back compat, and it runs at 60, and it still looks pretty good. So whatever they decide, if that is indeed true, and they do bring it back, it has to look a lot better than that. Which I still think it looks pretty good, in this day and age. So, they have to give it a level of polish, which is a lot better than what we've seen today.
How many perfect scores do you think GTA Trilogy is going to get when it does finally get its reviews?
None.
None?
John's
Because
joking.
Cyberpunk has 17 perfect scores, from what I can tell.
Chairs.
On PC though, right?
Not a chair.
Well, it was on PC.
I don't think Windows Central got a chair.
Well, I'm sure they did. And
I'm
B,
looking at it right now.
still the most suspicious thing that they did with Cyberpunk was really weird. Was that when the people who were reviewing it, all the major websites.
I can ask him. Rand, did Jez get a chair?
No, Jez honestly loves
10 out of 10 right here.
Jez honestly thinks Cyberpunk's the best game to launch in the last 4 years. But he played it on PC. Though,
Wait, is he voting on the Game of the Year stuff on Tuesday?
I don't think he is. No.
Okay. Ask him what he thinks about GTA Trilogy, then ask him what he thinks about Cyberpunk, and then ask him which launch he thinks was worse.
So I played it on PC. Apparently, I think didn't Evan say the PC was like everyone said the PC is good. The PC version of Cyberpunk's okay.
PC's good, but it does still have problems. Like when you're looking down an alleyway, then you spin around and everyone behind you vanishes. Like they still have those weird programming things, but it didn't really have
the
too many
teleporting
issues with
cops. The teleporting cops are so funny.
It was creating problems for me, and I was so excited because I just got that 3090 and everything.
People were saying in the chat that was the PC reviews for Cyberpunk that I was looking at. We'll check out the GTA Trilogy reviews as soon as the game goes back up.
You can't really trust Jez's his reviews on games because he likes Pokemon. You can't trust anybody that likes Pokemon, right?
What the shit, man?
That's fair.
I'm kidding.
Jordan's in a shrine of
direct shot at
Pokemon
friends.
right now.
Well, what do you think? What do you think?
damn.
What do you think? What do you think? IGN Japan was going to give GTA Trilogy?
Are they even gonna review it?
They gave Cyberpunk 100. All right, sounds like
It's
they were
troll
won
wave
over.
today. I just want chat to know it's troll wave today. Sometimes this is one of those days we're just gonna troll all day.
No, wait. Brand, you played Pokemon, didn't you?
I did. I played Pokemon Sword, or maybe it was Shield. Yes, my first
same
Pokemon game of all
Mm-hmm.
time. Yes.
Really? That was the first? Oh,
That was my first Pokemon game. Yes.
It was the same for me.
What did you think of it?
I despised it. I hated every single second I was playing that game.
What about Hop? What did you think of your rival Hop?
I didn't play Hop. I did. This will make OJ happy. I actually bought Metroid Dread. I haven't played it yet though, but I bought it.
Oh, it's good. You should try it.
What's
It's
your
good.
favorite game, Rand?
My favorite game,
Mhm.
like my favorite franchise,
I was gonna say Fable or some shit.
it's Halo.
Halo. Yeah, Halo. If you listen to the Xbox 2 podcast, you would know that it was Halo.
I was hoping for Steve
Halo.
King or something.
Bro, I don't got time for podcasts.
Sneaking.
Oh,
King.
goodness gracious. You've
We
got
can't even
time
get
for
her to play
Rand's
Tales. We can't even
podcast
get her
is
to play Tales
awesome.
of Arise. All right.
Thank you.
Bro,
Rand's
I'm
podcast is so good.
leaving.
It's so good.
Can't you just like listen to podcasts while you're playing New World?
No, because she's
No,
streaming it for 22 hours.
Okay.
Oh, that New World. Hey,
Bringing
quick,
that
I've been
up,
watching you
no.
play New World, but that game's corny. I'm sorry. That game's corny.
Young
I
King.
watch it. I'm like, I'll fall asleep. I will fall asleep watching you play that
I don't
game.
think you understand what the term corny means, OJ.
No, that game is corny. That
Yeah,
game
you
is
pick-
corny.
you pick.
I like
grow
you,
and
Click.
pick
I
more.
like your stream, so I watch you play it, but I don't chat or nothing because it's corny as hell. So I just watch.
Weird.
Weird.
Oh gosh. All right. Let's GTA Trilogy, we'll see if it gets any worse this week.
Worse.
I kind of feel like it will. Nope. There is a way it can get worse. MVG, tell them how it can get worse.
I mean, it could get worse in many ways.
Tell them the one we were thinking.
What if they pull the game?
No, it was going around on Twitter. I think it
Sounds
might
like
be
an improvement.
unsubstantiated still. But what could they get in real trouble for if it's in there?
There's some rumors, and I want to stress this is rumors, and
Very,
I don't
very
know
much rumors.
if this is true, but I have seen some tweets about how there are some mods in the game that look suspiciously like ones that modders of the game have applied in the past. So if there's a story there, I'm sure that'll break next week, but we'll see.
If that happens, is it
happens.
worse than Cyberpunk then?
Probably.
No, still not.
What? Hold on.
We've seen other companies release HD versions of their games using emulators where they have found fan-made source code in it, and that doesn't make it worse than Cyberpunk.
Did they did they then threaten to sue the people, have it taken down, and then use it?
Didn't Capcom recently do that with Resident Evil 4?
That was with
They found fan-made texture work in the HD versions of Resident Evil 4, and Capcom tried to silence the creator.
I
Sounds
didn't
like
know that.
something out of Free
I
Guy.
didn't know that either.
This is literally the whole plot.
Do you have that, Nate?
Nate, I thought the texture thing was that they found textures from an artist
it was from,
that
like,
was
a
creating
book. It was an
textures, and
artist.
Capcom stole
No,
it.
that's from Free Guy.
Yeah, so the person who had that, like the art, they're suing
Ryan Reynolds.
Capcom. So they're probably gonna get paid a ton of money. Like, so Capcom's on the defensive now, probably about to write the check.
Well,
Good.
Capcom fucked that up.
Yeah, so they're gonna pay money.
Oh, didn't Nintendo recently? Didn't they find something where they were using fan-made mods in some of their emulators?
Probably. I don't know. I could see that happening.
Well, I think that was a misconception. I think there was like numbers in it that turned out fans were using one that they got from Nintendo, and then
That
Nintendo
could
was
be the
using their
case
own.
here too.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what this
We don't know. We need to see
if
this,
it's
yeah.
actually anything. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, if there's, I think there's more to come from GTA Trilogy next week, but we'll see what comes out of it. But yeah, I mean, they got to put the
Hopefully
game
a
back on.
patch.
They got to put the game back on the PC. I mean, it's been like 48 hours, and no one on the PC can play the game that they paid.
Sounds kind of
$60
cyberpunky to
for.
me. I don't know.
Did Cyberpunk take away your access from the game though?
What for? On
Well,
PS4?
so,
No,
It
not on
takes away
PlayStation.
your access. If you have the PC version, you cannot play the game.
That's
you
correct.
bought.
And
That
that's a good
sounds
point.
what? Really?
Yeah, because if you
Yeah, that's
bought
what
the
that's what
game-
GTA do. They revoked your access to the game you bought. You cannot boot up the game right now.
Hold on a minute. This isn't worse than Cyberpunk. Are you sure?
That
We don't-
specifically,
That's pretty bad.
They just took the game away from people,
Yeah, that's
and they
pretty
can't
bad.
get refunds now. For
they
it.
hand you the game and go,
You can't get a
I'll take
refund
that.
for it?
I'm running this poll again.
Yeah, if you bought the Steam version, it is out of your library right now. They revoked access.
You get a
They
refund,
didn't give
though,
your,
right?
no, you didn't give your money back.
I
I
feel
don't
like
know
you
if they
should be able
gave
to
a
refund
refund.
it. if
It
it's
says
over-
here people are asking for refunds because they don't have access to the game right now.
Well, wait a minute. Hold up. So they took your money for the game. They revoked your access, and then you don't get a refund?
That's what it
as
says
it's on
here.
Twitter, the Rockstar
Okay,
Games
no,
launcher is
I'm
now
fi- I'm
online.
fighting-
The GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition is unavailable to play or purchase as remove files unintentionally included in those versions.
That's like stealing. That's like they just like stole
you're
from
getting
you.
Yeah,
mugged.
you're legitimately holding a hostage. What is this?
That's like stealing. No, like I would like punch somebody in the face if they did that to me, or like if somebody's gonna steal from me right in front of my face. Like, wait, what?
Oh, why does it gotta be so violent?
Well,
it's a
what if I
violent
came
game.
in? Wait, but that's not fair. Hold up. Are they have to give people refunds though, right? I was joking with the punch thing.
fair.
guys.
I'm
I
gonna
was
punch him in
joking.
the face.
Probably,
Laughter,
I
like-
think some people are trying to get refunds. They're kind of stalling on it in the moment.
The Rockstar don't give refunds. They're trying to go through their payment gateway provider and getting them that way. And apparently you can do that, but Rockstar themselves haven't said anything about refunds. And people are pretty pissed off about it, rightfully so. I mean, this is,
Not to get into like
unprofessional consumer treatment.
Yeah.
It's probably litigious if people want to start a class action. This is not something that
that was
is
my
good.
question to you. The legality behind it. Is there something in the terms of service for DRM or that Rockstar has the right to revoke access at any time for any reason?
Wait, hold on. What?
I haven't read the TOS, and I'm not a lawyer, but I would probably say there is something in there, right? That's covering their ass in there.
Because
in
they're
that
not going to do
situation.
this unless they know they're safe.
How have I not seen like 9,000 anti-consumer vids with this? If this is the case, like if this, where are all the anti-consumer videos then? Please, where are they?
Same around this, OJ,
Hey,
as other stuff.
Where's the anti-consumer videos? If they take away your access to a game,
So wait, does this
don't
still
give you a
count?
refund.
Wait, hold on.
What?
What did Cyberpunk release?
I've
What?
not seen a single
December 8th?
anti-consumer video. For
I'm
that.
I'm trying to
29.
figure out.
Not a single one.
I'm trying to figure out if this falls in the same year as Cyberpunk, technically, for like the Game Awards stuff. Because you're November. So that means this would be the worst release of the year. Then it's not Cyberpunk anymore.
I mean, thank God for Game
I
Pass,
think
because that's how I'm playing the game.
I'm trying to figure out
It didn't cost me
to make my
anything.
case if Cyberpunk ends up in the
Well,
nominees.
Cyberpunk you could at least get a refund for, right?
Yeah.
And then they took it down off the store. So I like someone said in chat, this is like they just stole your lunch money, kicked you in the balls, and ran away. That's
Pretty much.
not-
Okay, we can move on. We can move on to
no, I
the
like
GTA
my
trilogy
game.
stuff.
Love those
They had a
interest-free
poster
loans.
on the door walking into the lunchroom saying we can legally.
I get a
Sure,
question
once-
for MVG on this one. So Rockstar hired somebody to make these, right? Obviously, they didn't do it themselves.
At Grove Street
And-
Games, I think.
Right. So they removed it from the PC, presumably because the hot coffee stuff is still in there and some
The music,
songs
Yeah,
and the music. But
We
if
suspect.
would Rockstar have cause to go after who they hired for whatever reason if they were supposed to remove it and they didn't remove it, but then Rockstar didn't oversee it to make sure that it was removed? Could Rockstar even have like a case against the person they hired if they didn't do what they were
Maybe.
supposed to do?
Maybe it's hard really to say how that would play out, but you got to think that. I mean, this just sounds like a very, very rushed release, like on both sides, right? The publishing and the developer. The developer most likely didn't want to push this game out last week. They wanted more time. They probably would have asked for more time, and Rockstar said, "No, we got to move, right? What you have is good enough. Let's go." So. I mean, when things get rushed like this, there's always things that fall through the cracks. Unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff that data miners are finding. Who's on the hook for this, I guess, is the question. It's a good question. I mean, it's really hard to say. I mean, Rockstar is probably not happy with the developer, but the developer's probably pretty pissed off with Rockstar as well. So I think there's mistakes on both sides.
Yeah, I think you have to hold both the publisher and developer responsible for this. The publisher brings it to market.
They could have delayed it.
And the developer follows the orders of the publisher.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
It's not like they don't have the money. They've
Yeah.
So,
The publisher could have been Take-Two could have been like, you know what, this isn't going to market. We're going to delay it to next year. There's no way.
This is bad. We're not bringing it. Let's delay it. Let's really make these versions good. Here's some more money. Or Grove Street, you guys are kind of bad at your job. We're giving this to someone else.
Yeah.
And I mean, so many other things could have happened here, but this is just a mess of a release. It's an embarrassment for Rockstar, Take-Two, and Grove Street.
Maybe we're seeing this the start of the downfall of Rockstar with Dan Houser leaving, right?
Yeah.
Might be.
Yep.
Until they announced, Bully 2 and everything.
Well, now there's those. You saw those rumors that it's very small rumors that GTA 6 was having issues apparently, but like everything I hear about GTA 6, I have a hard time believing. But now you see this and you're like, is management like struggling there? Or
I don't know if you could really correlate problems with GTA 6 to a Grove Street contract worked release. If this was an in-house project, I'd say, okay, maybe there's something going on internally at Rockstar, but this is, subcontract work where they probably didn't view it as priority, and that's why it came out with so many problems.
Well, we'll see what happens throughout the rest of this week. Let me go to some of these super chats, then we'll check out a Discord question. Yeah, Zoob says GTA's proof graphics quality is about art direction and dev skill, not hardware power. Truly Epic says 50-50 chance RGT loses the Metroid bet. Paleo says, good news from the last time I sent a super chat a couple weeks ago about speedrunning Metroid Dread. I was able to beat Dread under 3 hours, 2 hours, 44 minutes, 56 seconds. That's pretty quick. Impressive. Jeffrey says, is Knights of the Old Republic worth it if you're not a Star Wars fan? I'm thinking about picking it up for the Switch based off the high praise it gets from everyone. I would say yes.
Check it out.
Yep, I think it's still worth picking up.
It's a good RPG. Just go into it willing to learn. It's got some deep mechanics.
Yeah, it's its own story too. So if you don't know anything about Star Wars, technically they'll kind of walk you through it. And so
I'm not a Star Wars fan, and I like certain Star Wars games. So like,
corny.
I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I'll play the games like the one that came out. What's the one that you got me, John?
Jedi Fallen Order.
Fallen Order. I love that game. I like KOTOR. And I'm not a Star Wars fan. So yeah.
This is from Surgical saying, what DLC have you purchased that you felt was most worth your money?
Infamous First Light.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Octo expansion for Splatoon 2.
Okay.
That was beefy.
Okay.
Oh yeah, actually that's a good one. Yeah.
Torna was great for me, man. That was it was like a whole second game. So it's pretty cool.
That's a good one. Then we have Symphonic Balance saying, lately I have been buying games day one. What's the point of paying full MSRP when it will be cheaper a few months later with quality of life updates? That with the stuff we talked about with patches and all this stuff coming out.
The entire reason you buy a game day one is so you're in the conversation day one.
It's the FOMO.
That's the only reason you pay $70 or $50 for a game.
True.
Is that you're able to talk about it day one. Otherwise, wait 3 or 6 months. It doesn't matter.
I think it depends on how passionate you are about the game too. If you really don't want spoilers, if you're really invested into it, that's the main thing. Especially if like games have a very small window and I have to choose, I have to decide which one am I going to get less upset about it possibly being spoiled. Like no matter how many muted words you put online or how much you try to avoid, there's always that one person or that one thumbnail that comes across and something gets ruined. So it really depends. Yeah, like, do you want that FOMO fear of missing out, or do you not want it spoiled for you?
Also, it kind of putting the most money in at the beginning tends to ensure the potential of the company putting out more games as well. Like if everyone just waits for it to go half off, that company's probably not making much more.
But is that the responsibility of the consumer?
No, it's not. But they have to make it exciting enough for people to get it. Which, I mean, if you're going to get it early, it's just part of it.
Gotta vote with your wallet.
It's true.
This is from Ryan says, how's the Power Slave port coming, MVG?
Good.
This is from this is from X Trash lost the PlayStation. This should be good. Nate backtracking, LOL 3 Xbox. Really, John dislike. Well, I think we can still see the dislike. So
who's the 3 Xbots?
Let's see. We have
the guy in the
well,
shirt.
MVG has the shirt.
I'm one.
I assume he named Nate, and then I guess our guest is Rand. So that'd be the 3 he's talking about.
Damn it.
Hey, count me into. I got an Xbox Series X, and I use it every day. Count me too. I'll be part of that. Sure.
I was just playing Battlefield. I was attempting to play Battlefield on it. So
yeah. Well, Xbox Trash, whatever the hell your name is, you're gonna cringe at the next segment when we praise the game of the year.
Get it right.
Which is Forza Horizon 5.
They went through a lot of thought to come up with that name. Chaos. Sean is getting ready to play Balan Wonderworld. Hey, Rand, nice to see you on the show as well. True Moon says pumpkin seeds for the birthday king.
Damn right.
Jay Thomas says, lately, every time RGT tells a story, I pray the statute of limitations has run out for whatever crime he's about to accidentally admit to.
So do I.
You can hear what he says in private. Jesus.
Payne says, just got a Switch, and only game I have so far is Metroid Dread. Any recommendation for lesser known titles? Rand seemed to really like Pokemon.
No, don't get Pokemon.
Does Breath of the Wild count?
I mean, that's the obvious pickup,
Yes.
right? That Mario Kart seems to be like the obvious pickups.
Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah.
Then we have Paul Gale Network says Metroid Dread is fire. 1.8 million in 5 weeks equals deserved. We'll talk about the Metroid sales here in a bit. This is from X Trash again. X Trash says, talk about Nate and Halo. He's wrong again. We already talked about it. His Starfield point got debunked by Schreier. No Avowed at E3 and no Halo on the 15th. Nate is a liar like Jeff G.
Oh, trash.
Oh, it's Jeffrey Grubb.
That damn
Jeffrey
Jeff
Grubb.
G.
You know what? If I'm a liar with Jeff Grubb, that's a good person to be lying.
Yeah, right.
I'm also a
Confirmed
liar with
leaker.
Mochi and Bloomberg and Nikkei, and I'm in a good group of people. You know what they say, when you die, if you go to hell, you're going to have a fun group of people around you because all the boring people go to heaven.
Hey.
I agree.
Bro,
What is
what
that?
the hell?
Is that an actual saying?
It is,
that,
yeah.
Who said that?
It goes around a
People
lot.
in hell are going to be like, you're going to have, like rock stars who they did drugs and they slept around. So they're going to hell for their sins. So wouldn't you rather be in hell with like Bob Marley than be in heaven with Justin Bieber?
Yeah.
No, I'd rather be in heaven.
think Justin Bieber's
Being
making
burned
it okay.
alive. I
Nah.
don't want to be burned alive for eternity.
You know, it's not just the rock stars and the people who do drugs, Nate. There's like tyrants and very bad people
And scientists.
that would be there.
Rapists
And all
and-
the
It would.
scientists.
I would much rather be protected by some pearly gates and have a nice,
I'll be
relaxing
boring.
hangout session.
Be corny.
Please, boring. Please, I'll be boring. I do not want to be.
Mike,
I'm Team Hell.
Michael says having fun with the Legend of Zelda Game and Watch. Hey, that little Game and Watch it's fine. It's a little novelty thing.
I love it, but I'm super obsessed with Link's Awakening. So
I am
bought
very
it just
happy that they got the aspect ratio right on that Link's Awakening.
Oh yeah,
And the
How you can
back
toggle it,
glows.
yeah.
Yeah,
It does.
they
Yeah,
improved it.
The back Triforce glows.
Yeah, yeah. Here,
Nice touch.
let me turn off my spotlight. You can see it.
I love how I've got Bob Marley ain't in hell. What the fuck, dude? How do you know who's in heaven or hell? It could be no heaven or hell. No
God
one's
doesn't
anywhere.
with the chat.
True. This is true.
This is from what saying happy 20th anniversary.
What are you
Metal Gear
doing,
Solid 2.
heaven? Hashtag team.
Team Hell, anyone?
This is from Boot saying spent easily 5 hours on Link's Awakening on the Game and Watch. I was just trying to check out the console, but got hooked on Link's Awakening again. And then Forza 5 tonight. And this is from Nathan Drake saying, what if they just say screw it and scrap Halo right now?
I kind of hope they do.
Whoa.
Trace.
I would love to see that happen, because then even Microsoft and 343 are liars, and people can say, "Fuck you, Phil Spencer. You told me Halo was a game."
Well, Luxian says, been playing The World Ends With You since it's on Nintendo Switch Online trial, loving it despite being sloppy as heck with the new way it controls via touchscreen and motion. It's true. Jared says, John, can you do a poll for favorite GTA of the trilogy?
I mean, it's just
I could do that.
You can just make every button Vice City because we know that's what it is.
Then Dark Type says, I'll just say I said some things that I don't regret saying. So there we go for the date. I can pull that up real quick though, and we'll come back to the Super Chat still later. Let me go ahead and make that favorite GTA game from the trilogy. Boom. Okay. GTA 3. Then there's Vice City. And then there's San Andreas. There we go. Yes. There you go. Okay, Evan, we got a Discord question over there.
Desert Island pick. Pick a console and maybe 3 games or something that you'd get stuck on a desert island with, presuming you could use it. So
What? Electricity?
I brought my Nintendo 64 out here with nothing else. No
Right.
TV, no electricity. It's great.
well,
Just want Final Fantasy 14.
Assuming you can use it, you just can't get anything else, really.
I just want if I had Final Fantasy 14, I could play just that one game for years easily.
Well, I'd
Isn't
get
that
a
the
modern day
question?
console and tell someone I'm stuck on a stranded island. Can someone send help?
Yeah, the
That's
bad
true.
choice would be getting the Switch. No messenger.
Oh,
Damn.
man.
Oh.
But it's portable.
I mean, couldn't you
That's true.
technically couldn't you if you bought like an Xbox Series X then use it as a smoke signal?
Ooh. I like that.
Wow.
Okay. Well, when you do get off the island and you get back, you're going to want to use our sponsor so you can pick up all the stuff you need to fill your house back up. That is Honey. Honey is sponsoring tonight's Spawncast. We all shop online, and we've seen that promo code field taunt us at checkout. But thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is a thing of the past. Honey is the free browser extension that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. Honey supports over 30,000 stores online. They range from sites that have tech, gaming products, to popular fashion brands, even food delivery. I've actually been using it quite a bit for the holiday shopping now, trying to get it done a little earlier. But I did also pick up Shin Megami Tensei 5 this past week. That's en route now. Hopefully be here Monday or Tuesday. And then we have, if you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out on free savings. It's literally free and installs in a few seconds. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this podcast. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/spawncast. That's joinhoney.com/spawncast. Evan, we have another Discord question we can go to.
Would you play Mega Man if it was more like a Metroidvania game where beating the robot masters would give you progression-based abilities that let you go to new places?
I'd
Yeah,
like
you know,
more.
I wouldn't. I think it'd be all right if Mega Man had a bit of a change up and they went in that direction where it was. Yeah, that would actually be cool.
That's partly why I'm hoping that so many people latch on to Dread, because I think Castlevania and Mega Man could inspire them to
Yes.
make a higher quality Castlevania 2D and Mega Man, because that's been the biggest thing. They don't want to make it because they don't think it's going to sell. Mega Man, and the newest Mega Man came out and it sold like 1 million across like 75 platforms. So I think it kind of reaffirmed what Capcom was thinking, like, well, Mega Man, it's not really doing like, what we want it to do. But if they see other games kind of come out and do a little bit better, I think that might inspire them a bit more.
I mean, Dread right now is probably showing a lot of them that you can make a high quality 2D game, and you can charge full price for it if it's good, and it's a big enough IP. That's the biggest thing. So like a Castlevania, I think could do it, and I think a Mega Man could do it if it was high enough quality.
Yes, Castlevania. Konami could do it, and it could be great. So I think maybe there are some rumors about a new Castlevania, and there's been some rumors about new Mega Man X. I mean, we've had those for a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind if they did the Metroidvania style thing. I think it'd be interesting to take Mega Man in that direction. And I'd pick it up right away. Absolutely, day one. Let's go over to Forza Horizon 5. I had a chance to play it over the last like week or so, 4 or 5 days, on and off as I've had time to. I know, Nate, you got a chance to play it. MG, I saw you were playing because it compares my stats to your guys as I'm running around and driving through different things.
I put you guys in the wall a bunch of times.
That's my favorite part. Is like, up there's Nate, and he's back there now. He's crashed, I obviously Rand had quite a while to play it actually, because you were playing.
Yeah.
You were doing like preview coverage for it, I think.
I had the preview code, and then I got a review code for it from Microsoft. So yeah, I've been playing it for a while.
Okay, yeah, and then I know Max got a chance to play it. I don't know if OJ, you had a chance to check it out, or Clegg or anyone else.
It's a lot of gigabytes. I downloaded it.
It's a lot of gigabytes.
It's a lot of gigabytes, man. So I put it to download, and then it was just taking a while I was streaming, so I wasn't able to check it out just yet. But it is downloaded, and I'll definitely check it out.
I would check that out for your OLED, because it is one of those games where you're like, all right, let's see what this TV can do, kind of thing.
It's in the living room. I have my Xbox Series X in the living room with my OLED, so I'll definitely play it tonight.
Yeah, just drive around, do a little scenery, and be like, oh, that was cool.
That's all I did. I just 2 hours to drive it around. I went, cool, got it.
Yeah, if you're into racing games, you're gonna get an absolute kick out of it. But I understand not everyone's into racing games, so it's not always gonna be something that people are gonna gravitate towards. But had a very good opening. Over 1 million people grabbed it in early access, and from what we've seen recently, over 7 million people have at least logged in to play it.
People.
Yeah, that's more than I was expecting.
It is a far bigger number than any prior Forza had in it, like its first month. This is a huge opening for the game, and it deserves it.
Yeah, as I'm playing this game, I'm realizing that Playground has like taken the whole world building to the next level from what they did with Forza Horizon 4 now. And obviously you're driving around, everything looks really good, but then you find like these little interesting details, whether you're in kind of this jungle area and you come across this waterfall with you can tell they really spent a lot of time building out this world. So it was an interesting thing to explore in a car. Obviously at times you'll be going 150, 200 miles an hour. As opposed to if you're on foot, it'll take you a little longer to look around at everything. So they obviously had to really consider that. But just doing things like going through the different, they'll have the different monuments and structures you'll kind of go around taking pictures of. And obviously the races are good. The volcano is cool.
That's one of the things I really like is how they have those, I'll call them mini quests. Where you can go you drive to the top of the volcano, and they'll say, go collect water samples from the volcanic lake. Knock over the boulders to release the steam. You have all these micro missions in some of these big landscapes, and you really get to be absorbed in what the game is showing you. And I love just driving around the volcano and doing all the little missions around it. But you also go to temples, you take the pictures, you really take in the environment and the surroundings, and the game really wants to immerse you in Mexico.
Yep. So I was just having a blast driving around, but then I start doing the races, and this is like that car action adventure RPG almost, because you're doing these races and 8 different bars are filling up. They're like, here's accolades, here's this wheel spin, stuff's going crazy everywhere. So it does have that pull as well, just going through it.
It's almost overly rewarding.
Yeah,
it
really
like car talent trees and stuff.
You play for 20 minutes, different chunks. You do one mission, you'll get 3 achievements unlocked for some reason. You'll get a bunch of you can go collect your your accolades. You can get this brand new car now if you want. Hey, come get this. Here's some new voice lines or horn sounds, and there's so much to it.
So cool, the horns.
The horns are really cool. There's a couple. I don't want to spoil it from them. There's some really cool ones in there.
Yeah.
The game is beautiful, and usually when it comes to a lot of these Forza ones, I kind of play it for a bit and I just kind of drive around. I don't really get into completing the games fully. I just like driving in them. This one I've actually been playing a lot more of the racing aspect and doing the missions and just driving around. I think the map looks great. It handles really well, and I think it just proves that the team behind this they know what they're doing very well.
Yeah, I love the variety in the missions that the game provides you, because you have the Baja missions. You can also be the stunt driver for a movie set.
Yeah.
And it's always something different of how you're going to complete it and get a 3-star rating on it. And it just feels as though the game is constantly evolving and throwing fresh new ideas at you. And then you still have that community aspect where they create their own playlist and championships that you can compete in and stuff. And I believe the season is it's a week in time, and each day you get new seasonal events to compete in. I'm not sure if I have the timing correct.
Yeah, it's usually a week. I think right now, I think it transitioned to spring or maybe summer recently, and then you got autumn and winter coming up. soon.
I just love how the game just feels as though it's going to continue to evolve as you play it. And I mean, I'm hooked to it, and I just want to dive back in and keep exploring Mexico and how each coast is diverse in its own setting. You have the desert, you have the jungle, you have more of the street side, and you have the volcano in the north. Everything feels new. Everything
biomes feel nicely separated, and they're very like dense. It's not just like, okay, here's your wood area, here's your beach area. It's like very interconnecting and done
yeah,
really
the way
well.
It transitions into biome to biome is so natural and smooth. You don't realize that you did it until you're just kind of there. And just being able to do that off-road racing is so much fun, and then transition right away back into like a Lamborghini and do street racing, and it's just so seamless that it's just a blast, and it's pure entertainment.
I just like collecting all the boards. That's the really fun part for me, just going around trying to find it, because they put them in some weird spots and you're like, how do I get that? Then it's like, oh, there's a cliff like a mile away, you just got to go up at 200 miles an hour and try to land on it. It's like, oh, that's right, this is like kind of an arcade more so racer than the simulation Forza we'll get a year later, maybe next year. We'll see. What do you think, Rand? You were really into Forza Horizon 4. I enjoyed Forza Horizon 4, but I really enjoyed playing it where I just literally just drive around the map constantly and get stuff and all of that. But what do you think about this one?
I mean, I think this one, I was a bit worried that it would feel too similar to 4 and 3.
Right.
Because we're at that point now where this is the 5th game, and it's a Forza game. You know exactly how it's going to play out. And I thought, there might be like that Far Cry effect or Far Cry fatigue, where it's like, okay, we played so many of these already. They all feel the same. What is Playground Games going to do to change it up? And adding the accolade system to me was big, because the way the previous games were set up, like I had my favorite car for street races. I had my favorite car for off-road, and you would earn those skill points, but they'd be locked to your car. Right. And so like this one kind of freed it up where any of the skill points you earn, you can put on any car. And they had all these accolades for basically using all these different types of cars. So when I was going through it, like every single race, I'd be like, well, I'm going to use the Bronco now. Or, I'm going to use the Mitsubishi here or whatever. Right. So I found myself enjoying the aspect of basically using as many cars as possible. And then they really changed up the campaign, where in 4, it was just like, okay, you get some XP for doing a race. Here's some more races and a showcase, and that's it. But this one, it really made it seem like you were actually exploring Mexico as the main character, because you do those expeditions and then open up like the new section in the jungle or up in the mountains, and you could choose where you wanted to actually, start off. Like if you really like the PR stunts, you could do it there. I don't know. I feel like it was a breath of fresh air in regards to the how the campaign was structured. And Mexico, as Nate was saying, everybody here is saying, is like absolutely gorgeous. It's so much better than the UK, the map in 4.
Yep.
And it's opened up discussion of like, what would you like to see in 6? Is it finally time for them to go to Japan? Like
Japan would be awesome.
This one, right?
Yeah,
like,
they should do that.
But I'm also really surprised. I said I thought there would be 6 million people for launch for this. The fact that it's about to hit 8 million and maybe even get close to 9 before Tuesday rolls around next week it's
mind-blowing.
That's ridiculous.
I think it was crazy that there was 1 million before the game went live on Game Pass.
Yeah,
I mean, people that either early accessed the game or got codes early. I mean, that's a pretty big number.
That's the thing. That you had to get that deluxe edition, which you could buy for $99, and I believe on Game Pass you got it for $45. 1 million people were willing to pay to gain early access, and if you paid, you got the 2 DLC packs to come. So it was actually a worthwhile investment.
I will tell you, the people who were really into Forza will pay that, because like they would come in to, I think it was 3 did that, and you bought it physically, but it was like the ultra deluxe pack. And dude, the people who came in, they had like the whole setup. They would talk about it when they're picking it up. They had like the whole like steering wheel, the seat installed in their house, like the pedals. Like, so their people are like really into the Forza series. So it honestly, the $100 or the 45 is probably nothing for them to be like, yeah, it's worth 4 days extra time to get in now, because but they see 1 million. I'm like, that's more than I would have thought who would have been like that serious about it. But I mean, Forza's been around for a while. It was on the original Xbox.
This is a lot of growth for the franchise. This is now positioned as one of Microsoft's premier franchises.
I mean, it's been consistently great. Like was it a 92 on Metacritic or something? 91, 92 on Metacritic?
This is the first game that released in 2021 to score a 90 plus on Metacritic.
That brings us to the next question. Should this be considered a Game of the Year candidate?
Yes.
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 I'm gonna say yes as well. And I will admit, I think if there was like a Breath of the Wild or a God of War or something of that caliber, I feel like it probably wouldn't be there because it would get bounced out by something else to make room for that. But
if there was I think this would be the one.
This is the only one we've had, new game we've had, as gonna click saying here, it's been over 90 on Metacritic. So it's like you kind of have to throw it in there. It's weird because we have that racing sports category. So like I don't know how they navigate that, or they just
It's
go
easy.
throw it in there.
Cruising Blast will win that, and then Forza will win.
It's gonna be great.
Though.
It's gonna be hilarious when Madden beats Cruising Blast for that category. For no reason.
But don't you feel a lot of the journalists who vote in the Keeleys, they'll just overlook it because they'll say to themselves, it's just a racing game.
Yes,
so it doesn't really matter.
They're going to include it.
Right?
I think the opposite.
You think they're going to include it, OJ?
I think
they're going to be there?
Yes, I think they're going to include it because this year in particular, like John was saying, there isn't that The Last of Us. There isn't that huge, 10 million plus, even The Last of Us didn't sell that, but the franchise has sold a lot. There isn't that type of game. And Forza's
Cyberpunk.
the most okay. Forza's the most, in terms of like accessible game, that lots of people are going to play. If you look at a lot of the other games, Dread is hard. Deathloop was more niche at this point. That game's already discounted. I mean, there was a lot of good games. I think there was the quality of the games this year. There was like so much. It just wasn't. We didn't have that big Breath of the Wild or whatever. So I think this game is going to be like auto included in the Keeley Awards and in lots of people's award shows. But I think that this could be like the year that there's going to be a lot of different variation in who, like from different websites, right? Because
also,
did you guys notice last year, like Hades, real quick? Hades won Game of the Year from a lot of the other websites. I know Last of Us was like Game of the Year, but Hades won a ton of Game of the Year votes and nods, and people didn't realize that until afterwards, and they started looking. Oh, wait a minute, hold up. Hades actually held its own, So.
And not just indie game of the year. I think part of the reason I think it's going to get nominated is because there's this thing I've seen people talk about, which is recency bias, which is that a lot of these reviewers play 60, 70 games a year sometimes, and whatever's most recent in their mind that's super good. When it comes to a blank where it's like, what's your favorite game? Sometimes they write the more recent one. It's been proven that a lot of times games that can win three months of Game of the Year awards are typically talked about more.
I mean, even recency bias aside, I think the quality of the game speaks for itself. It deserves to be in the discussion. This is a fantastic game. It evolves the franchise. And I know a lot of people can just look at the visuals and say, well, look how gorgeous it is. Yes, it is a gorgeous game. But the gameplay itself and everything that it delivers upon is upper echelon in quality. It deserves recognition for what it has achieved. There is no other racing game on market that can achieve and deliver what Forza Horizon 5 has done.
So what about Cruising Blast? What happened to that?
Cruising Blast is its rival. They're standing side by side on that stage, Game of the Year.
Click.
Well, I was gonna say, like, at that point, how does the evolution of the definition of Game of the Year change? Like, is it for the most part, games have usually been sold on not just does the game feel great, does it run well, right? It's also like the narrative, the emotional impact, how the music, how it all ties together. Is it also changing to where just hopefully the game runs in general?
Yeah, kind of. That's the other thing about Forza. It's super high quality. So it's like, well, it's not broken at launch. So go ahead, just put it in there.
Like, in a way, is it like, are we redefining, kind of how the Game of the Year changes? Is this just because it's a different kind of year as far as releases go? Or is it, is the bar, is the level being changed? Like, can any game technically get in if it runs well? Or
maybe next year Madden will be really good and it's Game of the Year. That'd be crazy.
That's never happened. Like Madden, Call of Duty, NBA 2K, those games are like blacklisted forever.
I don't know. I thought racing games were considered blacklisted too, and here people are.
Not this one, because this one's a bit different because of what it's done. I think a lot of people look at it as like not quite the Breath of the Wild revelation for the series, but almost to a lesser degree, kind of like that revelation from what I've seen, because I've played previous Forza games and I've had that same, okay, yeah, it's just a racing game, but this one definitely seems like I still need to play it, but from everything that I've heard and from everything that I've seen, like just like the eye test, like, yeah, this one definitely seems like it's a bit that it should get that extra consideration over what they've done before.
I mean, I've debated on playing it just because everybody's saying it's game of the year. Contention or whatever, and I feel like that's usually what I want to draw to is for that discussion.
It takes like 10 minutes to get into the game.
It's hard for me just to imagine of it's literally like just it's a car. Like you can't even get out, you can't even explore. Like
I mean, you could explore. You should get because what they do is they just throw you into it.
You know what I mean? Like to me, like that was like a goofy thing that I felt.
I know what you mean.
Starlink. So for me, it's like it's a weird concept, but I can understand where people are coming from if it feels revolutionary and you feel like it's pushing boundaries and inspiring change. So like, I get that. I'm not gonna come out here and say it's.
You tried on your PC with your 3090 and everything.
Yeah, but again, you know, normally it's like streaming, unfortunately, like limits it. So I feel like even if I wanted to like share that experience, it's very hard to convey it and do justice to those types of games. But yeah, I'd consider it for sure.
Play 1 hour at least. Like it feels to me sort of like flight sim on the ground in a way where it's an experience. It's not necessarily about the levels and the cars specifically. It's about the experience.
I will tell you, it's probably the best looking game I've ever seen visually.
Yeah. At times, because, and also one of the things it does is if you add us on your friends list, you can see it'll make AI versions of us. So while you're driving around, occasionally Spawnwave will just run me off the road, and it's like, wow, okay, what a dick.
I saw MVG's avatar dancing on stage because he finished in 3rd.
Whoa.
That's one thing they do. That's one thing they do need to improve is the character models.
Oh yeah,
they do.
Future releases. I mean, it's a racing game, so it doesn't really matter. But
it doesn't matter.
You know,
I mean, it could be better, but that doesn't matter. But I see what Click is saying.
If you're going to include the character models, you might as well make them good. You know what I mean? Because they do stand out as not very good whatsoever.
And there's kind of a bigger focus on your character in this game compared to
they tried to do more of a story and everything with cutscenes. Like they tried to do a lot with it.
Story looks kind of trash, but I wasn't really worried about that, to be honest.
I think it'll be curious though, because you know I know people make fun of it in hindsight, but if you remember, what was 2017, PUBG got nominated for many of the same reasons of Game of the Year. And hey, like looking back, right? It's like, it was just a battle royale, but that actually revolutionized like. So much the battle royale genre started because of it. It pushed the community, the streamer aspect of it. The esports genre was taking off at that time. So it did create a lot of change. So I don't know if some people are going to look back, you know, and be like, if it did get nominated, they'd look back and be like, a racing game got nominated.
My favorite part about that year, though, is they were doing like the musical orchestra. I think that was the first thing they did it, where they brought in like all these songs, right? And they were like, that was the year with Persona, I think, right, as well. Obviously, you get that kind of music kick in. And it was this awesome stuff, and then it was like Odyssey. PUBG came up and went to like some weird stock music, and it's like,
really? That's
you don't really have a soundtrack. I don't know. Just play something.
I personally have really good memories with PUBG, but like even I could acknowledge, and I think it just came from the fact of my personal definition for Game of the Year is something that evokes, you know, something beyond just the gameplay. Like it evokes a sense of connection or humanity. But if people can get that from a really pretty racing game, I'm not going to deny that.
Wasn't PUBG still in early access then? Like, weren't they just launching like 1.0 at the Game Awards?
It was still in like early access. I don't even think they technically changed it. I don't think it ever like rolled over. Like they have like 9 maps or something.
Click, the game wasn't even out. We can throw out the whole thing about Game of the Year needing the game to be patched and like, that was early access. That was like version 0.8.
I don't know if they ever like publicly announced it that it wasn't early access. You know what I mean? Like I think it just stayed at the bottom of the screen for like years.
I know when I was younger, I would have definitely given games like Gran Turismo, like back at like on the PS1. I loved those games. I
feel like Gran Turismo on the PS2. I feel like that actually won Game of the Year at a couple places.
I think A-Spec, yeah.
That was really cool. That was
Gran Turismo on the PS2 with the 1080i it's incredible. It still looks really great. It really does. It looks really fantastic.
Didn't Madden win Game of the Year one year?
I think 2000. was that 2005?
2004. I think it was the Ray Lewis year, or it was the Michael Vick playmaker year. One of those years it did win some game of the year nods.
04 was Michael Vick. 05 was Ray Lewis.
But back then though, it was
Madden
actually
used to
revolutionary
evolve.
though.
Yeah,
It used to evolve.
It was. Whoa, we have this new thing, and
Yeah.
Madden was a big deal 15 years ago. I know people won't believe that.
Yeah.
It used to be
When it
that.
went- when it went to the PS2,
new Madden's out.
when I went to the PS2, you're doing the replays and you're like zooming in on the ball. You're like,
Oh, it
look
was
at
crazy.
this, look at this.
But the control from like just a perspective of somebody who played football for a long time, being able to do playmaker stuff like that happens all the time in real football, where like you get the quarterback tells the person to go. So it really did revolutionize how you play the game. Defensive playmaker stuff like that was dope, and then it just like disappeared. I think 2006 was the last time that they actually decided to do something. The quarterback vision. After that, it was all downhill. After 2006, they just stopped.
yeah.
So.
Good news. On Tuesday, we will have the Game of the Year nominations for the Keeley Awards.
Prepare for disappointment. Let's go,
Yeah,
baby.
I'm excited. I'm
The thing with the
excited.
Keeley Awards is the sad truth is people put way too much stock in the Keeley
That's true.
Awards.
That's
They're
true.
essentially they're a popularity contest in the end.
Of
There are so
course,
many
it's
other
like-
outlets
yeah.
who are going to give out their game of the year. There are other reputable high-end award shows like DICE who
Mhm.
do their game of the year. We also just had one.
Yeah, but no one argues over that. Okay, look, we're gonna
because those
very,
are the ones
everyone's
that
gonna be very
really matter.
polite
They're the ones
and
who actually have
conversate around
industry
this.
representation instead of having the Lay's Dorito or Lay's potato
Oh,
chip
yeah.
on stage with the Schick Hydro.
The Schick Hydro
Sonic.
bot, that was my favorite.
Yeah, come out and be like, sandwich of the year goes to Sean's grandma's meat. Like, okay. no one
It'll
care about
wax
that
you
award.
inside
Yo,
and out.
Nate, that's why I wanted to mention that Hades won a lot of Game of the Years, even though it didn't get that Game of the Year at the
Right.
Keeley Awards and stuff, but it still won a lot. So
Yeah.
there's more to it, you know?
Keeley's awards are the mainstream award show, but there are
Yes.
other awards out there that you should probably look to if you really want to have a better judge of the quality of the year, because
Yeah.
Game of the Year is always going to differ individual to individual and outlet to outlet. There is no formula to decide.
Well,
Who
I
do
think
you- who
it's
do you-
interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask you guys, who do you guys think is not what your personal game of the year is, but who do you think is the front runner to win the Keeleys? Like, if you had to get in your mindset of like who the journalists are
Hold
going to
on.
pick,
Pull up mine.
what games will be nominated,
Let me
and
pull
I
this
like,
up.
still think it's gonna be like between Ratchet or Returnal or something.
Not
I'm
Returnal,
honestly,
Ratchet.
I honestly think it's
Ratchet.
going to be Psychonauts 2.
I think it's gonna be
Really?
Psychonauts, or my
Interesting.
hope is that that Resident Evil Village is talked about, because Resident Evil Village is still got to be
It's
one of the
going to
best.
be
games.
Ratchet. Ratchet's going to win. I think Ratchet. I think
You
that's
think
what
Ratchet
they're gonna-
really?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they're going to give it to Ratchet. It's the big PS5 game that has some of the reviews scored back. I think Ratchet's going to get it. Psychonauts just seems like people.
So
a lot of them would.
I kind of think Deathloop's gonna win it.
Deathloop is
Oh,
definitely
what?
going to be a strong contender.
not enough people played it.
and
I don't
this
think enough
is
journalists played it.
why
Well, this-
Forza has a chance of getting nominated, because there isn't
Yeah,
really
I
a
would say so.
clear cut winner. Like if Forza came out next year, it'd be up against Elden Ring, it'd be up against Horizon, it'd be up against God of War, it'd be up against Starfield, it'd be up against Breath
Yeah,
of the
have no
Wild 2.
chance.
It wouldn't have a chance. But we're Ratchet. You mean Ratchet and Clank? The game's been the exact same since the PS2 era.
I think
Well, I think,
so-
I think there's a chance that Dread could also win. I think Dread could win.
Dread,
This-
a lot of
could
games
win.
could win. Yeah, lots of games could win.
We have to remember what award show we're talking about, though. Like flat out, this is a lot of like the critics, the very small number of people who have influence, and then like our vote counts. That's why, like, I was gonna say earlier, like when you have the
Upload
different
this.
award systems like
Forza.
that come out in different parts of the world, you see how culture impacts favorite games of the year, but also a lot of these smaller, like the golden joysticks or something like that, like they have very different choices or very different winners because the community that surrounds it is often very different, and the critics, they have a different weight. So I mean,
So
I'm not getting my hopes up for Dread.
Here's what I have on my list. They have six noms, right? 6 nominations.
I think we have to
Six.
acknowledge Jeff Grubb's comment
Here's-
here, where he
what's that?
says that Returnal is probably the favorite to win. He thinks
That's what I think.
Really?
it will be.
Returnal?
Really?
Yep.
Returnal left a lasting impact on people, partly because of the difficulty, but the gameplay was incredibly rewarding once you got over that difficulty barrier. And with the recent patch, it's put it back in the news, and people are returning to it because now you can save mid-run. So I think it gave some reviewers and critics who are going to be voting a refresher, and they kind of went back to the game and said,
I don't even have Returnal nominated.
Like this.
I don't even have nominated here.
Returnal's got to be on the list.
If a PlayStation game was going to win, it's definitely Returnal.
Are you
Here's
man?
my list is Forza Horizon 5, Ratchet and Clank, Deathloop, It Takes Two, Psychonauts 2, and Metroid Dread.
It Takes Two is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It Takes Two is one of the best rated games of the year.
I really like Returnal though, so I see that, but I didn't see them thinking that. I like Returnal a lot.
What do you take out of the list? Do you take Ratchet and Clank out of this list that I just named?
I would personally take Ratchet and Clank out of the list, and I would put
Or you take It Takes Two out.
I like Returnal. I think
I would
Returnal is
take
fantastic.
Ratchet out.
You know,
we put
Take
Psychonauts
Ratchet
in.
Well, I already had Psychonauts in.
Okay, good.
Returnal isn't in my top 5, but I think you may. I agree that it may be on there because I feel like the fact that the story is non-linear and how it's drip fed to you in these like cryptic clues. I feel like the people who nominate stuff love that. Like, oh yes, it makes me feel so smeared. Yeah.
It also has that roguelike element where it caused a lot of discussion, which made it memorable.
Gameplay though, gameplay-wise, it's
fire.
Really good.
It's
like
sublime. That
so
gameplay
so good
is
gameplay
at its
So
best.
you would take Ratchet and Clank out and put Returnal in?
Yep.
I would keep them both in.
Really?
Returnal's a better game than Ratchet and Clank. It's just Ratchet and Clank gets the more hype.
Honestly, neither of them are really my nomination. I'm trying to think of what the main influencers are going to.
So you would take
I'm
out.
not thinking from a community standpoint.
So then,
Yeah,
which
I
one of
feel
these would be pulled out then? Forza Horizon 5, Ratchet and Clank, Deathloop, It Takes Two, Psychonauts 2, or Metroid Dread?
They're throwing Forza off the bridge. Sorry.
Probably throwing Forza.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Forza's staying. I think it's gonna stay.
I think the list is going to be Psychonauts 2, Deathloop, Returnal, Ratchet and Clank, Deathloop, or no, Metroid Dread, and an indie nomination. So either It Takes Two or Death Store or something smaller, because they always have an indie game as one of the 5. And I think so. I think Forza will get left off, even though I think it shouldn't, because it's the highest rated game of the year. It's also the most popular game in that, like out of that list. It's probably one of the most popular games of the entire year. So you're going to leave off one of the most popular games of the year and the highest rated game of the year.
Well, that's why I'm saying it's not going to happen.
I think it will because I think it will because when you have Jeffy Grubby Grub's friends who vote for this stuff, they're going to be sitting down
Jeff,
looking at the list.
Tell them what to vote for, Jeff.
And they're kind of going to think what Click has been saying, that there's no emotional connection that you have towards the cars, where you can have an emotional connection to the other games that would be nominated, right? So I could totally, even though I think Forza should be nominated, I'm thinking the journalists are going to put their stuff in, and it's going to be the one game that's not going to make it, and it's going to be all those other ones.
I have an emotional connection to Mexico. I live very close. I have an emotional connection to Mexico. I do actually. Yeah, that's my connection. Okay, my daughter, that's my connection. All right.
It's my brother lives. I want to play. I want to play Forza. My older brother's lived in Mexico the last 15 years. I want to go play it with him. I feel like he would point out cool locations.
That's my list there, so I'll see how close that is to the nominations.
I mean, it's difficult to. I mean, we're trying to gauge what the mainstream media voters are going to be nominating.
Exactly.
We're not in their head. We're assuming basically just based on social media presence and discussion and how some of them have portrayed their love or lack of love for games over the course of the year. Forza Horizon absolutely deserves a nomination. But it's one of those cases of, did it release a little too close to that deadline where it didn't have time to make a lasting impact on the reviewer to really put it up for a nomination? Whereas a game like Returnal had months of pissing them off, throwing their PlayStation 5 against the wall, and then they returned to it and fell in love with the game. Or you had It Takes Two, which is a narrative-driven experience, which is emotional from the get-go. It's a really tough decision there. And it's, I mean, we're forecasting something that is near impossible to accurately forecast.
Returnal could be like the Control of this year, where it could be like that. That's what I'm thinking.
I think the only
that controversial choice.
The only benefit a game like Forza would have, being this close to it, is that it's the freshest in the minds of the people going in and tallying what they would vote for. So sometimes that could be a detriment. Sometimes that could also be that little push to be like, you're really into this game right now. It's really fun. You really like it. Maybe vote for that. So.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, Hitman 3 was a game that came out earlier this year that was well received. No one's talking about Hitman 3.
About Monster Hunter.
Wasn't that good?
Yeah, people are talking about Monster
I
Hunter
feel
too.
I feel like Monster Hunter is just like not gonna get as much recognition as it should.
What's weird is it's still in my top 1 or 3.
I love it.
It's so good. Yeah. So
Yeah, I would put it in my list. I love Monster Hunter, and I was never a big fan of the Monster Hunter. I played them all, but I was never a huge fan. But that one really got to me, even to the point where I actually, started playing World a little bit too. But
ooh, nice.
yeah, man.
I mean, like one of the games I personally enjoyed a lot this year that would never make a nomination is Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection.
Yeah,
I think it was a fantastic return for that franchise. It will never get nominated.
Oh, that game, no.
I really sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I was gonna say I really do feel like we need like that nostalgia remaster remake genre now, where it's
we really do. We need the remake remaster.
I feel like people would be really
Mass
passionate
Effect
to vote
wins.
about it, like Mass Effect versus Death Stranding versus freaking Ghosts. Like,
especially because
for that MVG.
Well, because of stuff like Quake, absolutely, yeah. Of like we get we get so many remakes. We get so many remakes now. Like Click, you're so right. We get so many remakes a year. We could easily have a selection of 5. And B, we have so many that are high and low quality. I feel like even if they just did it as one of the offstage awards,
GTA on there, let people have their way with it.
Mass Effect is the game of the year. Mass Effect is the game of the year again. I would vote if I could. I would vote for it again. It's the game of the year again.
Listen, I'm not disagreeing, man. I had a lot of fun with that game.
That game is so freaking amazing.
I loved it a lot.
Evan, you want to go to a Discord question over there as I get look at Metroid Dread sales?
How hard do you think it would be to replace the new Switch N64 controller shell with an original OEM shell for different colors?
Wait, the original?
Yeah, the original shells. Could you reshell a new N64 controller with a new color from an older shell?
Is that like a video, John?
I don't think that would work because it doesn't have any of the screw holes for the support plastic inside. Like the board is shaped completely different. It's very small actually inside, because I have a video for tomorrow where I took it apart and the board is like tiny compared to the regular board. So unfortunately it wouldn't actually match up correctly.
Just gonna have to spray paint it like a gamer.
You could paint it. I mean, it's plastic. It would stick.
There'll be brands that bring out shells like sooner or later.
That'd be
I'll
good.
probably buy one of those. Yeah.
Get that atomic purple or something. Yeah. All right. Evan, you got another Discord question?
Yeah, we still got a few left. How far is Sean into Balan Wonderworld? Has he started yet?
The shrink wrap is coming off the game, I think. I think that's happening.
Do any of you think Let's Go is better than Sword and Shield?
Nostalgia would blur.
In some ways, yes. In some ways, no.
They're different experiences.
I can't put that. Let's Go experience.
I'll be honest. I hate them both. I know it's unpopular, but man, I don't like either of them.
I mean, Switch. I mean, Sword and Shield has Hop, and he sucks. I hate that kid.
Poor Hop, man. Like
Diamond and Pearl though, coming up next week.
I hate that kid.
Oh, he's just trying
You
his
beat
best,
the gym
man.
leader, you walk out, and there he is. Hey, let's fight. You kick his ass. You take 2 steps, he's back. And it's like, dude, go
just trying to
away.
You sound like the real antagonist in Pokemon, you know, Nate?
I'm trying to go
Nate
on a
would make a
journey,
good
and
antagonist
this
in
dude is
Pokemon.
always by my side. If you want, like, just make him a computer AI partner at that point. He's always interrupting you.
Gary Oak.
I was about to say, this is our Gary. This is the podcast.
Yeah,
Because
Nate's
Gary's
Gary
not
Oak.
about you.
ass.
The story is about witnessing Hop get over like the shadow, get out from under the shadow of his older brother.
Yeah.
Then we should have been Hop.
No, we're experiencing it along with him.
we're
Like
the
it's our
hero.
journey, but like we're not the main character. You know what I'm saying?
Friend, Nate.
Yeah,
God,
we're just part of the equation. It's not always about you. Sometimes you need to learn that, Mister. Hey, Monday everyone can play Halo. You
Oh,
liar.
pumpkin seeds.
Pumpkin seeds.
And you know what? The
Nate's
only way
getting
you can play
roasted.
Halo early is if you eat pumpkin seeds, so you can't.
Not worth it.
It's getting
You
roasted
You feed
like his
pumpkin seeds
pumpkin
to your
seeds.
Pokemon, Nate.
Not worth
Love
it.
and fool.
Okay, go ahead, Evan.
Will you forgive Rockstar with all the BS throughout the years if
No.
GTA
No.
6 comes out and is everything you ever wanted it to be?
Yes, I completely
Rockstar.
forgive them if GTA 6 is really good.
I'll forgive them when they drop the lawsuits against the reverse engineering
That'll
people
never
that they're
happen.
currently suing. I'll forgive them then. Otherwise, go fuck yourself.
Oh, they're not dropping those lawsuits.
We got a few years before we see GTA 6. So
Yeah, it's gonna be a long
Bro,
time.
I cannot believe what I just heard. If this was flat out Nintendo, people would be like, blah, 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 complaining about it literally 30 years later. But bro, you literally can't even return your game on Steam.
Okay,
What do you
well,
mean?
I didn't buy it on Steam.
What? Oh my god.
Also, Look, here's the thing. GTA 5 is such a living, crazy world. If GTA 6 is a step beyond that, oh man, I'm absolutely going to love it.
I feel like there's no way GTA 6 is going to live up to expectations anyway, so that'll
It's
probably
gonna
be a whole thing
photo-
on its own.
Yeah, photorealistic, 9 playable characters. It's
kind
gonna
of already in a good path. I mean, the setting of GTA 6 is supposed to be a return to Vice City.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they go back to Vice City with it too, it's like
It's supposed to be Vice City with a little bit of like the.
we had to
Florida
sacrifice
Georgia line.
the trilogy to get here. So
I'll do it. Burn them.
All right. Since Halo Infinite's supposed to be a longer term project, do you think we'll see expansions to the single player campaign down the line?
I believe
Oh,
they
yeah.
said that was a
Yeah.
plan.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
the
I'm sure all
10-year
kinds of stuff get thrown in there. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think there'll be more campaigns in the future.
Has anyone on the Spawncast played a game called Inscription? It's currently this guy's favorite game this year so far.
Sounds
I
like
have
an
not.
Evan
I'll
game.
Google it.
Sounds like an Evan.
I have no. I think I've seen it, but I just can't remember what it was.
San Andreas was the most popular game out of the trilogy in our poll. There you
What
go.
was the percentage?
54% San Andreas.
Inscription is a card-based roguelike. Does not sound like it's for me.
All right. Oh, no, we kind of already went over that. I think that should be good.
Okay,
We went
cool.
over pretty much everything else.
Well, we'll go through the Metroid sales and then we'll finish up with any of the super chats there. Metroid Dread. Rand, you bought Metroid Dread.
I did, but I don't know when I'm going to get to it.
Oh, it's not a terribly long game. Like I got through the first playthrough in just over 7 hours.
I beat it in a plane in 9 hours.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you guys know how to play Metroid, though. If it's for someone who's never played or has problems playing, it could take longer.
But
David
Rand
Jeffy.
This is Rand
really
Alford,
liked
the man
he-
with the million. He's gonna blitz through
Yeah.
this.
he really liked Ori.
Oh, Ori's amazing.
Oh, okay.
You're-
If he knows how to play Ori, then he should be okay with Joe.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you should check it out. Give it like an hour, Rand, and see what you think. Just because it isn't the longest game to get through the first time if you're familiar with things like Ori, for example, the Metroidvania genre. I'd be curious to see your take on that.
He did like Ori. I remember him talking about that.
How
on
the hell did
podcast.
Will of the Wisp not get nominated for Game of the Year?
Who?
Not enough.
It's a good question.
Not enough. Popularity.
Will of the Wisps is so
Yeah.
good.
If we're talking about popularity, how's Returnal going to win Game of the Year? Nobody played it.
PS5 exclusive.
How did Control
Yeah,
get
but
in the
nobody
Game of
bought
the Year
it.
conversation?
Yeah, nobody played Control. Like that game did not sell amazingly.
The
Yeah.
reviewers played it, Ran. The voters.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. You have to think of that.
That's the thing.
See, they just need to come to me for the final decision. I'll veto stuff like Control. All right, I'll just throw that
You
right
wanna
out the
put up
window.
Cyberpunk.
No,
You have
John.
no veto power.
I'll be like, I see you put Control here,
No.
but Cyberpunk, all right, had
No.
1700s on PC. So
You said Skyward Sword would be more entertaining if the characters died. No, you're not getting.
It's
the time to
true.
say.
It's true.
There are no lies
No,
detected.
screw you guys. Get out of here.
I'm just trying to help. Okay.
And you
No.
know how we know the Keeley Awards are useless? Octopath Traveler didn't win Soundtrack of the Year.
How did that happen?
I was about ready to go to Keely. I was about to say, Keely, listen,
did
bro.
they give it to like Red Dead Redemption or
It's
something?
like Red Dead,
Give
dude.
it the Red Dead Redemption 2.
That was just a travesty. Octopath
can't-
soundtrack is a banger. There's like hit after hit on that one, but hey,
I
it's all
can't
good.
even remember a single Red Dead song. I feel like I played that recently, and I can't remember a single Red Dead song.
Banjo.
Yeah,
Probably some banjo.
Octopath did have some really good music. Yeah.
Well, that was the same year as God of War too. God of War had an amazing soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Rand, you should try out Metroid Dread when you get a chance. Give it an hour and see what you think. It'll probably grab you, to be honest. It's a pretty easy game to just sit down and just play all the way through for the most part because it does flow really well. So
It carrots on a stick you really well. Like every ability's so fun, and you get them so quick. I love it.
Just shoot all the walls.
Yes.
yes.
Walls are your enemy.
They are the true enemy of Metroid Dread.
Anyway, we had Metroid Dread sales figures come out. They actually shared them, which is they don't do that often unless they're pretty. I guess they're pretty happy with it.
If they can brag, they share.
Yeah.
854,000 copies in just the US. It was the best start ever for any Metroid game. Actually came in at number 3 with just physical copies. I think it was behind. What was behind? It was behind Far Cry and what was number 2? Was it FIFA again? That was probably FIFA or Madden. Basically, it was number 3 though, just physical copies. That's very good. MPDs, much larger than the Metroid Prime, which sold 364,000, I think, in the US. 363 in the US. That was back in 2002, and the game that beat it out that month was Vice City.
Yeah,
which makes sense.
Like 1.7 million.
I mean, it was Vice City. What can you do?
Yeah.
But yeah, Metroid Dread off to a pretty good start there. It looks like I mean, we'll see. Next year we're going to find out if Sean has played balance. I think it is going to take still into next year to get to 3 million copies, but I think it's going to get there. 854,000.
I was pretty
in the US alone.
I was pretty skeptical. I had a couple tweets that went viral over the course of like the last month where I was kind of, when they dropped that demo 2 weeks after release and stuff, I was starting to, I didn't expect them to be this strong. These are definitely higher numbers than I thought.
That was part of the plan for it because they know it's a game that, you know, people might need a little bit of extra push to get. It's not going to sell like Mario. It's not going to sell like Zelda. But I think the biggest issue is this, like, people don't look at the sales of, you compare it to previous Switch games. I mean, that's probably the best thing to do. And if you compared it to where it was ranking beforehand, you could have told that it was going to have a pretty good launch just based off of just the pre-orders from what we can see, what GameStop was saying, what Amazon was saying. It was pretty clear. And then also where the position of the eShop charts were before it launched. So you kind of already knew it was, but there was people that weren't looking at that. So it created this, it's not going to do well. It's not, it created that illusion. But before launch, you could clearly tell if you were just paying attention that it was going to do really well. So it's cool to see that because there were some, you know, people were skeptical about it. And like, people don't look at sales like that, you know, so I can understand that. Like, it's boring to look at that. You just want to know when the game comes out, you play it and know what Nintendo says about the sales. But, you know, we'll see. I'm thinking personally, if you compare it to, like, let's say Fire Emblem, Nintendo did not announce the sales of Fire Emblem. That got number 2 when it came out in 2019. They didn't announce the sales. From what I have calculated, it sold several 100,000 units better than Fire Emblem did in its debut launch. Fire Emblem sold over 1 million in less than a year. It took it about, I think it was June, maybe? It was something like that. So Fire Emblem crossed 3 million. So this is already charting significantly better than Fire Emblem, and that game did over 3. So I think they should hit it somewhat comfortably next year, like early or something like that. So RGT. I know you watching, bro. Watching.
Nah, he's fighting CM Punk right now, apparently.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
CM Punk just did a John Cena.
But did you guys, since RGT's not here to defend?
Oh, he squashed him. RGT got squashed.
Did you guys watch his video? It was.
I did.
Yeah.
It's
I
pretty funny. He spends the whole time being like, okay, you think these are good, but they're actually bad. It was pretty funny.
I loved it.
What I hope comes from this is the resurgence of 2D, like high quality 2D games, because there was a lot of controversy around Metroid Dread just being this $6 2D game, but I mean, it's selling. So if you have a strong enough IP and you can make a high quality game like that, and I mean, if it is in Game of the Year conversation, which I assume it's going to be one of the nominees on Tuesday, that'd be surprising if it wasn't, then I mean, maybe we should get a Castlevania. Maybe we should get a Mega Man or something that they actually put some time and effort into.
Give me high quality Blinks the Time Sweeper. I don't care. It's a high if it's a high quality 2D game, I don't care. I just want a high quality game. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Is it a high quality good game? I don't care if it's 2D, 3D. There's a lot of crappy 3D games, you know? So like, that doesn't matter to me.
Though, I think Castlevania could do it. Like,
you could tell the vibe, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they could make that happen. And I feel like a lot of us would buy into it.
Who do you get to make Castlevania, though? That's the question.
Therein lies the problem.
Like, who do you give it to?
Well, I mean, Mercury Steam,
right?
Castlevania game.
Can we get them?
Castlevania Mirror of Fate.
Yeah, can we get Mercury Steam? Like, couldn't they go to them and be like,
of course,
can you make this?
Konami could easily contract them to make a game again.
Yeah, but Metroid Dread was co-developed with Nintendo EPD, so it's like, is Konami gonna help?
I think it would need to be a Nintendo, Konami, and Mercury Steam all work together. I don't trust Konami fully, but nobody like Iga's gone, right? So do you go with Iga's development team and then give him extra resources? Like, how do you get it done?
Bloodstained showed a lot of promise. The biggest problem was that the Switch version was
Bloodstained's good. I don't think Bloodstained's as good as like the best 2D Castlevanias, but it's not. It's better than some of the It's better than like the first GBA one. It's better than that one. And the second one, yeah, but it's not better than Area of Sorrow or Dawn of Sorrow, and it's not better than the DS trilogy. But it's up there. Like it's not a terrible game. So I mean, maybe if they went with him don't they have Bad Blood? So
probably Bad Blood. So that's and that's
no
the problem.
Pun intended. No pun
intended. Do you go to
on
Moon Studios?
Yeah, maybe you go to Moon. Yeah.
Go to
I think
Yacht
they can.
Club. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah, I feel like they could find somebody if they really wanted to do it, and they're like, you know what, we're gonna go for it. I feel like they could find someone to do it.
I'll do it. Damn it, let's go.
What I'm saying though is that I feel like the market respond favorably to a 2D high quality 2D game like Metroid Dread at $60 to where someone else should try it with a strong enough IP.
Team Cherry will try it again. They'll do Silk Song at $60. See how the market responds.
I'll be honest. I think that if it was that kind of a game, I think they could do it. I think they could show up and be like, look, it's 60. We've been working on this forever now. It's high quality. It's a long game.
Inadvertently, Team Cherry is kind of responsible, and I don't want to use the term responsible, but I will here. They're responsible in the idea of devaluing 2D games because Hollow Knight was such a steal.
It is really good at that price.
$20.
Yeah, and the game it was crazy.
Well beyond $20 because of all the content you get. They kind of set that expectation that a 2D game of this caliber could be something more affordable. They easily could have charged $40 for Hollow Knight, and
maybe they'll try it here with Silk Song. Maybe let's do $40 for Silk Song, but like basically, get more money for it.
40 at least for physical. I mean, $4 for the physical version.
Yeah, raise the floor on it. I feel like it could happen. It's been seemingly in development for a while now. So
yeah, I mean that's the thing is Hollow Knight was just undervalued.
Hollow Knight was $15.
Far too $15.
15.
That's mad.
Well,
that's madness.
I bought that game so long ago now. It feels like.
When did Hollow Knight come out? Was it 2017?
It feels like it was a long time ago on PC.
Was it 2018?
2018 on Switch, right? 2018 on
Switch. E3 2018 Shadow Drop.
Yeah.
I mean,
feels like it was a while ago.
Well, with the backing and the name and the hype that's been driving behind it, yeah. I mean, I was talking about this actually a couple weeks ago. They could raise the price and people would pay it because they've been waiting for it and they've been excited for it. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, how much does Ori's like $30, right? For like,
I think
like when it launched.
Yeah, I think it's 30.
Yeah.
I think that's what it launched on when it came to
Hollow Knight was 2017 on PC, but like the beginning of 2017. It's like February. Hollow Knight.
It came out later on Switch though, right? It came out
June 2018 on Switch. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because I would have bought it if it was the first year on Switch. I would have, because I remember I bought it as soon as I could on the Switch, and I played it. I was like, oh, this is incredible. I streamed it. I was like, this is incredible. I like this game.
It's Team Cherry undervalued the game. Could have charged a lot more for the quality of that release.
They'll probably reevaluate. I assume they're going to reevaluate that Silk Song, but we still need to see Silk Song. So who knows?
Been a while.
It has been a while, hasn't it? Hey, 2022 is coming up. You never know.
Well, they are a developer of like 4 people, so
that's true. Very talented people. Let's see. You said we're done with Discord questions, Evan?
We're all good.
I have some super chats to go through here, and then I'll look at Streamlabs. We'll do that during our outros.
Well, to close out the Dread sales stuff is it launched incredibly strong. Now the true challenge for it lies ahead, because the legs are going to be what propel it to the arbitrary 3 million figure that we have assigned it for the sake of Sean's bet.
Yes.
And to get that goal, it's going to be reliant on newcomers and new interest for the franchise. So fantastic launch. Probably a lot of the core Metroid base showed up day one. Now the true journey begins. Samus has to get into that morph ball. She has to roll along to 3 mil.
We'll have to see how
Fortunately, the holidays are right around the corner. So
exactly, the holidays. There's going to be more people, and then the demo. I think the demo is going to be good for next year. The demo, and then if they talk about Metroid Prime, like let's say the rumor about
the remake,
that's going to get it back into
remake master,
whatever,
kind of.
That's going to get it back in there. But I mean, like Fire Emblem sales really fizzled out even afterwards. and it didn't even have as strong of a launch, and it didn't launch during a holiday. It launched in the summer, and it still beat that out. I would be very surprised. The sales would literally have to fall off a complete cliff for it to not beat out Fire Emblem, because you did not hear about that game's sales at all at any point until Nintendo put it on their report. They said, oh yeah, it sold this much, because otherwise we heard about the Japanese sales and that was it. Then all of a sudden it was there. I did have a little bit say, I knew that it was going to be the best selling in the series, but it didn't really blow away any type of sales charts or anything like that. Same for like Clubhouse Games or some of these other games that do 3 million. They just get there, you know, like they just kind of get there, but it's not that big of a number. I think people need to realize that, like, it's good, but 3 million is like, there's so many other games that Nintendo even does on the Switch that does way better than that. You know, it's good for Metroid, you know?
Yep. Rand, you said you liked Prime, Metroid Prime more. Yeah, your 3D Metroid
next year.
What do you think? What do you think about that? A remaster slash, what you're saying, remaster straight up, Nate, but like taking the first Metroid Prime, bring it to the Switch, but making it look much better.
I mean, is it going to be a Grand Theft Auto Trilogy sort of remaster? Or
no, it sounds like there's actual care put into this.
Think of it more along the lines of a remaster, like Master Chief Collection or Demon Souls.
Well, that's the way it should be.
Demon Souls?
So.
Like, it's going to be
a remake, right?
Yeah, I guess technically it's a remake. That's where that line is blurred. It's really just a marketing term in some cases.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Like, they're going to keep the foundation and the skeleton exactly the same. They're just going to update the visuals to a more modern appearance, but it's going to be the same Metroid Prime you loved 20 years ago.
That's going to be incredible if they make, because like that game is already really good looking, you know? So that'd be amazing. Sign me up for that, man.
Yeah, I'm on that immediately. What do you think, Rand? You gonna grab that day one?
I might. I really do. I really do like Metroid Prime. So I guess it really depends on what other games are out around that time. Yeah. So
got to get you on Dread.
Yeah,
first hour. Try the first hour. Okay. It sounds like Infinite's not gonna be around on Monday for like the multiplayer stuff. So
just damn it, Nate.
An hour. Just give it an hour.
It's gonna be soon after.
Let me go through some of these super chats here before you finish up. Cristobal says, I blame the tornado in Battlefield for game bugs. If the Battlefield portal mode is patched per Max's review, I like retro Battlefield maps like Bad Company 2. This is from Patrick saying Shin Megami Tensei 5 is amazing. What a great game.
Fantastic.
It is, yeah.
Taco says Banana Mania removed the challenge mode life system, and I got into doing the craziest stuff in levels. Now I'm speed running individual levels. X Trash wanted to check in with us, saying Rand is a liar. He and Grub said Crytek was bought.
I didn't say anything about Crytek.
What the hell, Rand?
The funny thing is, people make up a whole bunch of stuff. So,
wait, are you telling me that
internet?
people put bad? Yeah, people make up stuff on the internet. No,
internet?
No.
What
from X Trash?
Is this X Trash making shit up? Wow.
Have you ever seen? There's that thing. It's like a picture, and it shows this guy, and it said, "What I assumed you said," and it goes, "How dare you say this?" It's like that's most of the internet.
That's Twitter.
Brian says, if nobody has asked yet, has any of you gotten into the Elden Ring Network beta? I'm loving it so far. Max he did a video on it.
Oh my God. So you play it in a 3-hour chunk. I have a video of my thoughts because I go really deep. It's easier than Dark Souls because it's so much more playable, like the same level of like health and damage, but oh my God, watch my video. It's amazing.
Sean says, bought Skyrim for the 6th and 7th time this week. I have a problem. Happy 10th birthday to the best game of all time. Good to see Jez's co-host here.
Yeah.
Radberry asks, should they get Monster Hunter Rise or Shin Megami Tensei 5?
It depends on what you like, man. Like they're very different games.
I would say Rise mostly because now we know the big expansion is coming. So I think it's kind of fun to play a bunch of Monster Hunter and then like jump on the next wave. The Monster Hunter community really builds up hype for the next thing.
If you want to play a single player game, I would definitely say SMT. Monster Hunter is much better multiplayer. So if you're looking for something single player, SMT, get that. But if you're looking for something that's more multiplayer and that you can play single player, then Monster Hunter.
Yeah, if you want to play a Pokemon from hell, you get SMT.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It literally is. It's the Pokemon with too much heart.
Scooter says, can you all comment on how this trend of launching unfinished games seems to be strictly a United States-based gaming company problem?
Cyberpunk wasn't.
Cyberpunk is
not
that's not
accurate.
Yeah, that's not
Polish.
us.
No.
That is not correct.
Well, and Final Fantasy 14 was launched totally broken originally. Like, I think it happens everywhere. I think it's just that American media kind of laser beams its own bad actors. Yeah.
Jarrett says, after watching RGT85 and Dreamcast guys vid, I bought GTA Trilogy on the Switch. I just finished GTA 3, and it's such a great game, even with the jank.
I'm playing Vice City on my other screen right now. I love it.
This is from Landon saying, I was wondering your all's opinion on the Razer Blade 15 Advanced. I prefer the Core i7 11800 RTX 3080, but may get the 2080. Are either of those solid picks for a first long-term PC? So the issue I've heard with the Razer Blade, I don't have a Razer Blade at all, but from what I've heard, there are heat concerns with that, especially when you get an RTX 3080. But if you have that card and it seems fine, it's not throttling, I mean, that's going to play everything. But I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't have a Razer Blade, so I can't give you firsthand
How do you shade?
thoughts on it.
He has a
Moving
beard.
on.
He doesn't use it.
Red Dead says GTA 6 will be the next Cyberpunk. No, I don't think they can afford to let that happen. Like, that's something
Maybe.
that they'll keep that in development forever if they have to at this point.
It's already been that.
Yeah. Jeffrey says CDP prove that you can release obscenely defective games and still get away with it. Cyberpunk GTA Trilogy, now Battlefield 2042. This trend will continue, in my opinion.
I don't think they
didn't
get
get
away with it, though.
they didn't
People
get
are
away with
holding
it.
them accountable just because there's still a mass audience who buys them because they don't go on YouTube or Twitter or forums. It doesn't mean they're getting away with it. They're still seeing a lot of returns. People are calling them out. CD Projekt Red had a class action lawsuit and their investors were suing them. If that's getting away with it, then damn.
And who knows how much money they lost from being removed from the PlayStation Store? I mean, they probably lost millions, if not more. Like,
And their stock cratered too.
Their stock dropped by $3 billion. I put that in a video a bit ago. It's
they
insane.
get away with nothing. They're paying for it. They're definitely paying for it.
Lala says, Nate, what's your ideal Yankee free agent trade this winter? You can only name one. Only name one.
Good lord, here we
I can
go.
only name
Sports
one.
rave.
One.
Podcast.
I'm trying to keep this moving through here.
Baseball.
They need a shortstop, so I would trade for a shortstop. You have to look at the free agent market and see who's the best available, who would fit their system and could get, reasonable contract. Nothing outlandish, but yeah, shortstop first. And if you could find a pitcher, those are the two positions I would go for primarily, and trade away Gary Sanchez for anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Ben says, I asked for a refund on the Microsoft Store on the Series X and accepted. Yes, this is a Cyberpunk 2077 situation, also released in an unacceptable state. Boot says, this topic suggests to me that game journalists shouldn't just do the post-game sad mad show, but a no review copies, so do not buy yet as a rule. True says, imagine GTA 6 like this, heart shattered. Yeah, if GTA 6 has this, that would be ugly. That would be real. That would be worse than Cyberpunk then if GTA 6 came out was like a Cyberpunk situation. Yum says, I noticed they are re-releasing more PS2 game on the Switch. What games you wanted to go to the Switch? Or PS2 game? Oh, because GTA.
Take your pick. There's a ton of great PS2 games
God Hand.
on the Switch. God Hand.
Beautiful Joe. It's a GameCube game, but it's also PS2.
Oh,
Beautiful Joe.
Beautiful
Silent
Joe.
Hill 2.
Grandia 3.
Yeah.
Did that happen?
Grandia 3.
No,
Metal
I didn't
Gear
get
Solid
Grandia. Metal Gear
2?
Solid 2.
Oh,
20th
yeah,
anniversary.
Is Metal Gear Solid still down? Did they ever fix that?
That's
I
going to
think
take a while for them to get the
Yeah,
licenses
they
for
just
that.
started the negotiations to bring it back.
That's
Why
not
did
coming back.
Why did they start the negotiations like
forgot.
months ago when they what?
They forgot. They forgot.
They sat there and said, oh shit.
They were playing the pachinko machines too much.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, so noney? And they
Hit
just
the lever.
forgot.
Oh man. Jeffrey says, I'm a QA engineer and I wish QA was taken more seriously in the industry. Guarantee QA for the GTA trilogy said the game barely runs on Switch and they were ignored, said they.
Well, did you see? Actually, there's a QA guy who was proudly saying, I did the QA for Vice City. Here I am in the credits. And everybody started replying, this is a piece of shit. And he's just blocking everybody like, oh.
Poor guy.
I feel sorry for anyone that's QA. And look, QA is a thankless job, right? Because you're kind of the last line between the game going out the door. I firmly believe that QA, everything that's been found by people, QA already know about. But it's one of those things where, again, I think the publisher basically said, you got to go with this release right now. So I think ultimately that's what happened.
You mean to tell me QA isn't like that commercial from 20 years ago that used to be on G4 or Tech TV where the two guys are sitting in that office room and the woman walks in and says, "Hey guys, I need a new game design." And
Why do I remember that?
Graphics on level 3. That's not how it
that
works.
one. And doesn't it end with, "Don't you want to be paid to play video games?"
Yeah, he sits there with the controller.
I remember
Mom
that.
said I'd never get anywhere with these games.
Yep.
Like, that's not how game development works. You don't just walk in like, "Hey, you finished this game? We need a new one designed right now." Well, the graphics suck. Fix them. Okay.
Boogie says worst release: PlayStation Classic, GTA Trilogy, Cyberpunk.
I still think the PlayStation Classic was pretty messed up.
They're not updating the PS Classic, so
It's true, yeah. And also I do remember it. It just was the worst versions of those games. It was like,
that was kind of disappointing because people got really excited about the possibility of not only that system but future systems, and they kind of moved on from it pretty quick. So yeah, that one was pretty disappointing. Yeah. Sacon 10 says Nate's podcast is a Spawncast without the heart.
damn true.
Hey, I was on there this morning.
Damn true.
Podcast per se.
I was on your channel this morning. People should go check it out.
That's true. Well, I don't know if I'd advise it.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Yeah. No, go watch it. That's fine.
It's a little out of date now.
Get all your good
You
Halo
update the
info from
comments, it's
there.
fine.
It's great.
Watch it and don't read any comments.
What if it does happen, Nate?
Then, because my info said that it won't happen, people will call me a liar either way.
You backpedal twice.
Double
backpedal.
I gave an update. No
It
matter
only
what,
rides
no matter
backwards.
what, I lose.
Edward says the Game Awards already put up their first award ahead of schedule called Moment of the Year 2020 on their website. Go vote while you can, while you still can, chat. Moment of the Year 2020.
I want to see what this are.
Yeah, go ahead, pull that up real quick. See what the options are.
Yeah, let's see here.
Zach says, hey guys, love you all. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Zach. Zepto says, by the way, GTA Trilogy has been cracked day 0. I believe it. Dennis says, best regards from Panama. Keep up the good work. I think RGT85 win the bet. While Dread is a good game, it's only been bought by Metroid fans.
That's like literally not true.
EJ says,
It's actually not true.
EJ says, do you think Sony is planning a same-day release on PC for a multiplayer game? Considering the upcoming Discord partnership, it feels likely now.
Possible.
Yeah, I think Sony is going to try it at some point this generation. I don't know what they're going to do it with, but I think they're going to try it day and date release PC and PS5.
Is this a joke? I have the favorite moment of 2020. What? This is favorite moment of 2020, but it's 2021, but it's labeled as the 2021 voting. It's the Sephiroth Smash reveal. Wait, this was last year. What is this? I think it's glitched. This isn't supposed to be up yet.
What were the other moments they picked? I'm just curious what moments they were like, this is it.
So the ones that are listed here, when you click 2021 voting, it brings up 2020 for some reason, but you can still vote. But it's Sephiroth and Smash, the Perfect Dark reveal, next Mass Effect tease, Super Mario Brothers Orchestra, and Eddie Vedder performing.
That's what happened at the Game Awards last year.
Yeah, and so we're literally able to vote about a Game Awards
That's legitimately the self-suck award right there. It's, like,
it's the self-suck.
what part of my show did you like the best? Was it this part? I like this part of my show. You guys let me know.
Yeah, that's insane.
X Abbott says, Rand, did you get the Halo campaign preview like Paris? I don't think Rand did. So he would have probably already talked about it by now, I'm sure.
No.
Yeah, I think you think Rand be able to be playing the Halo campaign now and not.
I mean, if I had the opportunity to play Halo, would I be on Spawncast tonight?
That's a good point.
Fair point.
That's a good point.
That's not nice.
I would ditch all of you for Halo, and I'm not.
Do you
even
remember
as
how
big of a
fast I
Halo
was
fan.
going through
Could be
super
playing it
chats
one.
when we had to jump off and play Halo last time?
That's
That was
true.
funny because
Yeah,
like,
they
one
had
word
like
answers.
45 minutes left after the show ended.
Still Alive says Bethesda, CD Projekt Red, BioWare, and now Rockstar is a single Western AAA game developer left that puts out good games now. Maybe Insomniac. Western develop. I mean, we gotta see what Retro Studio does with Metroid Prime. Apparently, they had something canceled though in 2018. Leo says it only took Sony delaying every AAA title for Xbox to be in discussion for Game of the Year. What have they done? Gran Turismo
Well, I mean,
What's it called?
yeah, you would have had if Sony's lineup did come
Horizon,
to fruition, you would
God
have
of
had Horizon,
War.
God of War, and Gran Turismo 7.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
beastly holiday if they dropped all three of those games.
Although next year is going to be very interesting. So
Next year is going to be a loaded year.
Banana says console wars are cringe. I love my PS5, but these fanboys are tripping. Take your meds.
There,
There you
yeah.
go.
I've seen people buying an Xbox just to make videos about how they hate Xbox, and that's pretty weird.
Joy-Con says, have you guys play? They showed them by giving them their money.
Yeah, right. Here's this product I hate. I waited in line 4 hours.
Joy-Con says, have you guys played Eastward? Just started playing and it's so good. Feels like a spiritual successor to Earthbound. Highly recommended. I started it and I really want to get through it, but it's like all these games are coming out now that like I'm supposed to play Shin Megami Tensei 5. That game is like 1,000,000 hours long. So now I'm like in trouble.
I played a ton of it when I was on vacation, and it's really weird, but I do like it. It's a super weird game though, but I do like it.
This is from Maurice. Max, you covered this. Did the cast play Elden Ring network test yet? If so, what are your thoughts so far? I've played it and I have no complaints. I love how they implemented the verticality. I'm in the game. Game of the year 2022. Well, we'll see when it comes out. It has to release in a working state, which we're seeing is kind of difficult now. But yeah, check out Max's video because he did a full rundown on that. Marky Mug asked Dreamcast guy, do you regret 9 out of 10? I think that's just for the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy stuff.
I know people are roasting me in the comment section of that video, but no, I just like it. I mean, the graphics are terrible. It's still Grand Theft Auto, my favorite Grand Theft Auto.
There you go.
How dare you have an opinion?
Ryan says SMT5 is so good, but I am curious why it's so hard to get physically at all. I don't know. My copy took longer than I thought it would take to get here.
Yeah, they didn't anticipate the amount, like, you know, because SMT, no game has ever sold like over 1 million, so the shipments for the game definitely weren't up to, you know, what you would expect for a big game. But there's going to be more coming. They're going to have more special editions coming. They're going to have more steelbooks coming.
I got the steelbook one.
Yeah.
Get here. Yep, waiting for it to get here. Derek says, I really like Forza, but why can't I filter classes for online races? Also, anyone else experience bugs with online races?
I haven't been doing online races.
I just mostly doing the single player stuff with people, of course, like being.
I mean,
put into game AI.
I've done some online races. I mean, sometimes the cars will warp in and out, you know, because of the connection and stuff. But I haven't really experienced any bugs, anything major.
Jackson says, we must remember that modders and the homebrew community put a better version of GTA 3 and Vice City on Switch than Rockstar did. On the Vita.
Mm-hmm.
They got this stuff on the Vita. That's the thing.
I think they even got it on the 3DS.
They did.
Oh my gosh, really?
And hey, even on the Wii U as well.
Whoa.
Just higher.
But we can't talk about it because Rockstar might be listening and they'll take down this video. So
Bring it on.
should move on.
Geeky Gaming Family says, it seems someone working on Fable just revealed the game has been in development for 4 years now. If true, could be expected in 2022 or 2023.
Next year.
I'd like to see Fable as soon as possible. It'll probably be. I think that's still 2023.
I'm 23.
2024.
2024.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still a ways off.
You know,
I
I'm
mean,
still in 2025.
look at what you've seen from Forza Horizon 5. Picture that in a Fable game, though.
Yeah, but X Trash makes a good point saying,
drive
stop
a
it.
car in
Ratchet
Fable?
wins Game of the Year, reviews, sales, prove it.
X Trash
What?
makes a good point.
What?
I think Dread outsold Ratchet at this point.
Symphonic Balance says, if money was an obstacle, what game series would you personally finance to be remade? My choice is Mega Man Legends. There it is, Mega Man Legends.
Silent Hill.
Grandia.
I heard Silent Hill's getting remade though.
Oh.
Dude, still
MVG, when
Nate,
we
you wanna
see on the
chime in?
new Silent Hill reveal?
I don't
Going
know,
on,
Randy.
what,
I feel
a year
like
and a half
last
at this
year. I
point?
feel like last year we talked about the same thing at the
I know,
exact
right?
same moment.
Game Awards right around the corner.
Konami canceled their entire E3 presentation, and they still haven't shown anything this year.
Game Awards right around
Makes
the
you
corner.
wonder, what did Konami have in store for June?
All that backpedaling.
Yo, imagine, check this out. Imagine a Skies of Arcadia with like Tales of Arise graphics level. But
With
that'd be
GTA
great.
trilogy graphics, you're
Oh
right.
my-
That is a good idea.
There we go.
imagine Skies of Arcadia with modern graphics. A new Skies of Arcadia. Oh my, bro, that would just be too lit.
That's all I want.
Nobody's ever done it though. There's been no like games
should
that are
go
that
Sky-
like.
Skies of Arcadia MMO. Let me fly around with my bros. And I guess Click can come.
Brian says I'm looking for a PC controller that is compatible with Game Pass on PC. Any suggestions, recommendations outside of the standard Xbox controller? Can you use Can you use the PlayStation controller too?
Yep.
Game? I haven't tried it,
think
but
you
I'm pretty
can,
yep.
sure you can. Yeah. Matanumi says, was I the only one who noticed strong similarities of Bowser's Fury theme to a certain song from Final Fantasy X? I'm gonna say yes.
I don't know what song from
I don't know
10
either.
you're referring. I mean,
theme? I have no idea.
you're referring to like the main theme with like Du Hast during the Sin attack?
Maluxian says driving around and racing in Mexico. Cool. Were there any pinatas? I haven't found any pinatas yet.
I haven't seen a pinata.
I haven't seen any because I haven't played it, so I haven't seen it.
They're in the Horizon arcade mode.
Yeah, I've
okay.
seen it.
Okay.
I've seen
Yeah, I
it.
was in one arcade and nobody like in my group was doing anything, so we failed. We had to get like 100,000 like trick points, and I was the only one doing it. And I was just like jumping over ramps at the airplane graveyard, and I was like, "This is going to take a while."
Sid says any weird games that no one knows that you guys remember playing. I love this 1997 game called Claw by the Shadow of War devs, a 2D platformer where you fight Spanish dogs as a cat pirate.
What did you
What?
just read?
Yeah.
Sounds interesting.
Claw. Look it up. It
Um,
says Claw by Shadow of War.
I
Spanish
played.
dogs, pirate cat. Okay,
I played
Cat
Michael
pirate.
Jordan Chaos in the Windy City.
Oh, that game sucks, dude. I rented that game, ruined my whole damn weekend.
Omega
you know,
Boost.
You know,
Saying
Amy
Omega Boost.
Hennig was the like lead designer of that game.
Well, I don't like Amy Hennig anymore. Then, if that's the case.
Tyler says Playground making Fable. Can't wait. Yeah. What they're able to do here with Forza, that's going to be a crazy looking game. Marky says, did you see Rich go mental last week over you guys? I think Sean did. I think he actually went over and talked to him.
Nah, he's okay. He's okay, man. He all right.
Yeah. I'll say I think Sean talked to him and all that. So
Yeah, everything's okay.
Yep. Matthew says SMT5 is amazing. Also, Gene Park for Spawncast. We do have to get Gene on here.
True.
Yep.
I
good guy.
met Gene in real life. He's a nice guy.
Nintendo Eric says, here's the real Game of the Year question. Will Scott finally be nominated for Content Creator of the Year? He released Borderline Forever and has a TV show. I mean, he has to be, right?
He has to be. If he's not, they're tone deaf.
I mean, what else can he do? He's going to actual TV.
I know.
So, like,
Yeah.
he's like ascended, I guess, to that. So, I feel like he has to be at this point.
Sweet bean.
Burst says, first Spawncast caught live in a long time. Love you all, Jordan. You have made me remember so much with your videos lately. Kablam, Mr. Meaty, Chalk Zone. Are you going to review the 90s Nick sitcoms as well?
Yeah, I've done some of them. I have plenty more to go through, but yeah, I appreciate the kind words and support on the content. Thank you.
Let me also start going around here. We can do some outros. Rand, where can everyone find you? Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. If you want to check out my YouTube channel, it's youtube.com/RandallThor19, where I mostly talk about Xbox related things going on. And we got the 20th anniversary coming out on Monday, so hopefully Nate is right, or maybe
I'm
wrong.
not getting vindicated on that.
You're
one.
vindicated, or yeah.
No.
I think there's going to be a
It's-
bunch of back and pack games added.
That'll be
on
cool.
Monday, so that should be
Ooh.
interesting to see. So yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. It was always a blast.
It's from Ace saying, could Sakurai beat It Takes Two controller in each hand? What do you want to watch that stream It Takes Two for Game of the Year most unique? I think you could. I've seen him with the Smash sessions where he just uses a controller in each hand. He could do it. Joshua says Monster Hunter Rise for Game of the Year. Unfinished says anything you guys are expecting / hoping to be revealed at the Game Awards? Silent Hill. Matron says, what game genre has been the best this year so far? I'm going with platformer, RNC, Rift Apart, It Takes Two, Psychonauts 2, Metroid Dread, Crash 4.
We flew through that Game Awards hope to see question.
I'd say action RPGs, Dark Souls style-ish games, like hard games with leveling systems and slashing.
We're also going to probably do a Spawncast basically with the predictions for it.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So that's why I'm going through it. So yeah, that's why I figured we do the Spawncast before. We'll do an entire show where we're just doing the predictions for it and talking about things. Wolverine says Mass Effect Legendary is up for Game of the Year, then KOTOR Switch should be added as well. they just need like a remaster. Click's right. We need that remaster remake section.
Yeah,
Yep. David says, any idea when the next N64 game should come to the expansion pass? Also love the show, y'all. I mean, I'd hope they have another drop before the end of the year just to put something on there. They need to put Paper Mario.
Nice to see F-Zero.
F-Zero. That'd be a good one too. Drop at least 2 N64 games. At least 2 of that list they had. Monroe says, Jordan, best pulls from Fusion Strike. And if you also want to let everyone know where they can find you when you go through that.
I haven't opened much of it. Pokemon sent me some stuff early a couple weeks ago. I opened on Twitch, but I'll be opening more soon. I'm building a new setup for streaming the card stuff. But yeah, you can find me on YouTube at Jordan Fringe or on Twitch, Jordan Fringe. And yeah.
Jonathan says, literally just beat Metroid Dread now. It was fire. Monroe says, Max, glad you like my Tormented Souls suggestion. Max, you also want to let them know where you can find you.
Yeah, youtube.com/Dreamcast guy. I'm going to be doing a big video this week because Spider-Man is actually finally coming to Avengers. So holy heck, I love Spider-Man. And specifically, thank you to that super chatter. I bought Tormented Souls just because of that guy, and it's seriously such a freaking good game. It's like, it feels like a fan Silent Hill game, seriously.
Nathan says, hey guys, do you think games like Final Fantasy 9 Remake and Tactics Remaster are real? If so, when do you think we'll expect those announcements?
Early next year.
That GeForce leak just keeps delivering. So
I know, right?
Can't rule it out. Can't rule it out.
Corey says, do you guys think that Nintendo will switch up game distribution if games like Pokemon keep leaking to the extent Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl did this week?
They've tried so many times. They do it with every Pokemon release. They adjust the shipping and distribution of the physical retail copy.
There is no easy way to stop Nintendo Switch leaks. The only thing is they can do is try to figure out a better way next time around.
Yeah, get to the next generation and then make sure it's patched up security wise.
Because like the Pokemon games, what they try to do is they try to ship them like a week ahead of launch and hope that the retailers honor the street date. But in a lot of these leaks are European. It's kind of the problem where they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And unless they literally hold shipment until the day prior to release, and then retailers would get mad and you'd have it'd just be a disaster all around. But they just need basically hardware that isn't compromised as badly as the Switch was in the first few months.
Big V says, David Jaffe's Dread take was a joke. Thoughts?
No, it was not a joke.
This wasn't applied to it when I first tweeted it, but it ended up getting associated anyway. Just because you're bad at the game doesn't mean the game is bad.
There you go.
Yeah, Jaffe has the right to his opinion on what he viewed the game as. You don't have to agree with it, but he has the right to express it.
Yeah, and I like he does streaming and he does, and but I played a lot of his games, back in the day, Twisted Metal and God of War. So I think he's a great game designer. So yeah, I don't really have anything negative to say about it. I mean, obviously, he was struggling with the game, and he was frustrated. So that's essentially what happened. That's all.
Turtle says, I'm 47 and never played GTA, so I bought it for the Switch. I feel like I've been cheated on with a crap port.
You were.
Yeah. Then we have Batman's Butler. No message. Thanks, Batman. Alfred. Yeah, it looks like it's the one from the animated TV show too.
Alfred, baby.
All right. Then we have Marky Muck saying, RGT, I have a copy of the new Halo if you want it. RGT says, thank you. What says, hey, MGS2 came out 20 years ago today.
It did.
I'm old.
That's amazing.
Has one of the greatest introductions of all time with the tanker.
Yeah. Click, I really hope those games come to current platforms. Like they actually remake them so you can try them out.
Yeah.
So you really need to play
if
these games.
if that game was coming out now, Nate would have leaked the Raiden change like the week before the game.
Oh, you
came
would
out.
have. That would not have that would definitely not have stayed under wraps.
To be fair, no one in the media even knew Raiden was in the game when they were getting the review copies, and when they had to do reviews, they couldn't even discuss that portion of the game.
That Raiden change was big. That hit hard.
The whole review could only mention Snake's inclusion.
They just showed that tanker part. That's all they really showed. It was that tanker level.
Yeah, that's all Konami allowed because they're like, this is the twist, and you
that was so crazy.
I don't think you could get away with that marketing in the modern landscape.
I mean, people really wanted to believe that's what they were doing with Death Stranding. So
yeah, well,
or Abandoned.
Yeah. I think people really want that again. That's the thing. I think they want that Raiden moment. Even though people were really mad at the time, I feel like people want that mystery and that like intrigue again. Zach says, what is your favorite amiibo? Mine is Daisy.
I only like the Waluigi one. I think the rest kind of suck.
My favorite amiibo? Oh, Corn, the female Corn of Fire Emblem, because it's worth $300. So that's my favorite one.
There you go. That makes sense. OJ, where can everyone find you?
You can find me buying Corn amiibos. Find me right here on Player Essence YouTube channel. I got some pretty cool content coming up. Tomorrow, if you're into Super Smash Brothers, we have a big King of Smash tournament that's going down, $1,500 price tournament. We got some of the best players, in the community playing. So it's going to be some pretty high quality gameplay. And also Sora. We got a good Sora player. So if you want to watch, then, Sora from Kingdom Hearts play. Got that. And then also I have some SMT beginner videos coming up. If you want to see that, I got a review on that and some other cool content dropping. KOTOR, doing a video on that. So if you're into Nintendo Switch news and Nintendo Switch gameplay and RPG stuff, then check out the channel. And yeah, I stream daily too, pretty much. So if you want to watch some streams, they're up there as well. Thanks for having me on once again.
Yeah, this is Lucius says Sakurai tweeted about his Series X is the best marketing Xbox in Japan could have asked for. At one point, he just told people to check out the Xbox because Banjo. So he's talked about it Xbox a couple of times. Super says, question for the Spawncast: what was the first game that made you cry, if there was one? Thanks.
I think I mentioned this. Aerith's dying in FF7 hit me like a train.
I genuinely think it was the first time my friends and I beat Ocarina of Time together, because it was like 4 of us. We'd like alternate houses, and then when the credits finally rolled, like 2 years later, because we were kids, we were all just sitting there like, we gotta go back. None of it counted. Yeah, it was good.
This is from Truly Epic. Says, when's the Spawncast Clips channel coming back? We're working on something for that. I got some plans for the Spawncast Clips channel. Console says, I only beat Metroid Dread because I watched Miss Click's videos. She was my guide.
Hey, turn up.
So says, Xenosaga Trilogy Remaster for Switch could happen. Well, if
No.
that sounds like got shot down with this cell phase.
No. Or Nintendo, somebody would have to jump in and fund it, because Bandai Namco's like, nah. Especially after, see what happened with GTA. These PS2 ports, it's not like an easy thing to just get these old,
hold on,
crusty PS2 games.
I heard you just press a button and it just, MVG.
Copy
Right,
paste.
like, MVG, want to let them know where they can find you?
Thanks for having me on. You can find me on Twitter at Modern Vintage G and on YouTube at Modern Vintage Gamer. I'm doing a Xbox 20 video on Monday, so check that out.
That'd be cool.
And whatever else is happening next week, I'm sure I'll be covering it.
Yeah, MVG been on it recently. It pops up like the PS5 hacking stuff. He's on it, so yeah, hopefully it'll be a fun week. Cyclops says, what would everyone's thoughts be on the Burnout trilogy featuring 3, Revenge, and Paradise? Well, we have Paradise, but like Revenge was, you can get that backwards compatible still, and it's fun.
Takedown.
Takedown was good. Yeah, you could do that instead of, you could pull Paradise, right?
Yep.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, Takedown. That'd be cool. Amano says, Balance says to Sean, don't be afraid, I won't bite you. Let's have fun together. Nate, where can everyone find you?
Find me on YouTube at Nate the Hate. I'm sure we will have a video up next week discussing the Xbox 20th anniversary celebration, as well as a review of Xbox Series X and S's first year. We also have a podcast up there right now discussing the PlayStation 5's first year and whether or not the system is worth buying in 2021.
And Evan, where could everyone find you?
You can find me on Twitter. Whenever I go live on Twitch, I usually announce it there. If anything's coming up convention-wise or new pieces and stuff that I'm working on for art, it all goes up there.
Cool. There were a few Streamlabs to finish up with here. This is from Princeton Vol saying, "Hey Rand, hype level for Wheel of Time premiere on Friday."
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
I mean, I'm also nervous that it's going to be a bad show, but I've been waiting 25 years for this, so.
117 asks, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl releases in a week. Thoughts? Full ROM already leaked. I wonder if Nintendo's Man in Black are chasing after this. I'm picking it up. I already understand what it is. You know, it's not the big game Arceus that they're pushing towards, but definitely that nostalgia driven game. But I'll be checking it out. I'm sure Jordan will be as well.
Mm-hmm.
Shinru says, "What's the best remaster this year?" My money's on Zelda Skyward Sword HD.
Mass Effect.
A lot of people are gonna say Mass Effect.
Mass Effect. That's I mean, Skyward Sword's fantastic, but Mass Effect is just.
Well, it's 3 games at the same
Yes,
time too.
exactly,
So
3 games.
It's a whole, yeah.
Still much.
Shinru says, "Wait, John, you're telling me I can use Honey to buy a pair of Raycons in order to play my favorite mobile game, Raid Shadow Legends? Is that the best clickbait title you'll ever heard?"
Someone's got a pog face. Whoa,
Yeah.
the savings.
Then Shamsa coming through with a big $200 donation. Shamsa, shout outs as always. Big shout outs to Shamsa here. Big shout out to Shamsa.
Shout out Shamsa.
Love you.
Cannon says, "I think I agree somewhat with Nate about Hop. It has the Star Wars Episode 1 problem. You may play the role of the hero and learn about other characters whose stories aren't long enough for a solo game, but what if they made it linear Pokemon game?" Shinru says, "Any good gaming laptops on early sales for Black Friday? I really want to get into streaming games, but I don't know enough about them. Under $1,000 would be preferred, and a good warranty policy if you know any." I would actually, that weekend between Friday and Cyber Monday is when you want to look, because a lot of times you'll see Newegg, Micro Center, and a couple of other places like Amazon, even Walmart will run some. You just want to look for a decent video card and an okay CPU, like an i5 and up, I would say, preferably an i7. But definitely look on that weekend. You should be able to find something for under $1,000, Shinru. Then Shinru follows up saying, "Capcom and Sega have the same problem. They don't want to make a good game with their flagship mascot. Mega Man and Sonic, as far as I know, are dead. Only the community keeps them alive with mods and fan projects." And let me just make sure I got everything here. Make sure I didn't miss any. Sorry, Evan messaged me with
I have it here. Console Fanboy says, "I only like Zelda because of Misclick. Link could never find a better hidden treasure than Click."
Aww.
He's basically said that like 3 times. So I just wanted
That's very nice. Thank you.
Okay, I see. Then okay, Console says you're more important than any treasure chest Link could ever find. Thank you, Console Fanboy. Okay, that's gonna do it here for Spawncast. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll be back Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see you guys then.
Think for yourself.
Feet pics.